by a bit. Yeah, nice to see you, Gamer4. I wanted to begin by 9, but then I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna clock in a little earlier because I really want to continue this game. There we go. Yeah, how is everybody doing? I'm doing pretty good myself. Also just realized that I need to charge my phone. Not a bad reason. Yeah. It's like I already said this, but I personally set myself the goal of like trying to finish this game before the month ends. I think it's feasible. Like, this is not the longest game, and like the more this game isn't extremely long, but it probably does take a little longer with you know, voice acting everything. There we go. But yeah, other than that, I had a pretty chill day today. But man, my legs hurt. They hurt because I had it's because I did some exercising in the beginning, and like it was big pump, big exercise. Trying to like think of a better way to say it, I'd say that's just that. So yeah. Anyways, I think I'm just going to, I mean, I don't have much to yap about, but I guess I do have some things. Yepper definitely not beating by 999, your 999 week though. Yeah, no, I think that doing 999 a week is pretty intensive, but because I actually have some stuff I'm not doing instead of the stream, then I just didn't do it. I also uploaded the previous stream to YouTube. So it'll be there with all of its in all its glory. But like in general, I just feel like that now that I'm back to this game, it's just I just feel like I'm immediately sucked back in, you know? So yeah, it's really nice. I like there's a lot of things in my mind, like a bunch of like weird tangents I had. So I think I'm just gonna like talk. Hello, Sarsberry, it's nice seeing you. I think I'm just gonna yap about some of my things that have been on my mind because I'm someone who sometimes keeps up with internet drama and like sometimes I don't. It really depends. And one drama that really caught my attention because like I sometimes watch booktubers, sometimes I'm in the loop, and recently there is a book talk author that for the past month has been really catching the internet by storm. Her name is Audra Winter. She made a book called Age of Scorpius, and this book is just, I think the entire incident just like taps into a lot of insecurities that people have, and I think that's the reason why it's so like it really like got a hold of people. So for those of you who don't know, Audra Winter is a 22-year-old author. She's been working on the novel that's like based like a novel series that's inspired by like a story she started writing when she was a teenager. And for over like 10 years she's been developing it, rewriting drafts, and eventually she managed to like advertise it on TikTok and like get traction. And she hired a lot of artists to illustrate for the book. She did a good job of like telling her story, of like showing that this book is like gonna be a fantasy story about like a bunch of queer people, like a bunch of like a neurodivergent girl who describes it, who ends up like rebelling against like the society and like the gimmick with the society is that it's very like it's basically like a world where your zodiac sign basically judges your like like dictates like the part of society that you are and like your powers. It's very young adult dystopia, but like a lot of young adults of the time, it's actually sapphic. And yeah, so there's a lot of hype that's being created. A lot of people. She also managed to get a lot of pre-orders. Um, she also had like a bit of switch in an attitude. Like she started like having like a witchy vibe TikTok, and then eventually like she started like becoming more corporate. And I'm gonna like put a pin on that because that's like a sport, like that's a spot. Like if you watch them, you see that like she starts like becoming professional and branding herself as an entrepreneur who owns a business and who has a creative team, and like how she has 6 figures. It's a lot of stuff. So and then a few months, weeks, she starts like posting like a few of the pages from the beginning, like a reader preview, and people are like, Audra, this isn't very good. And so they start writing their comments. A lot of them are like not necessarily mean, but like they are very blunt and very disappointed. And basically she ends up like clapping back and arguing with people, and like either by comments or like just replying full on with reels. And people, and like she tells how she has a distinct voice, and the reason why the prose is so jumbled is because when you're neurodivergent, you don't really think in a direct way. A lot of statements that like ended up like rubbing people the wrong way. And then the book comes out, and the book is an unedited mess. There's a lot of grammar issues, a lot of sentence structure issues. Like the book is very unreadable and very hard to communicate. And a lot of people are like going to the Goodreads and they're saying their reviews, and Audra, being a 22-year-old autistic woman that she is, well, she takes it really harshly, and like in the video replies, she frames herself as like being the victim and like how she's going through the worst thing. And basically she took the book off the TikTok shop, and she's gonna rewrite it, and like she's gonna have it in the Patreon. So a lot of Audra's approach for it is very conventional, and in the situation, like the smartest thing that you should do is probably what's the word? You basically want to lower your profile. You want to disappear from the internet and write your book. But unfortunately, because Audra seems to be taking, I don't understand why independent writers don't hire editors. It's always the issue that causes the book to fail. Well, Audra allegedly hired editors. She just like in the beginning she worked with an editor, and then they parted ways, and then she ended up like hiring another editor and made them do. I said this before on your streams before, if you can't take criticisms, really shouldn't put your art online. Yeah, pretty much. And see, this is the thing, like I'm telling you guys the story and I already see you guys are like getting responses from it. That's part of the reasons why it's fun to talk about this. Because like a lot, like I'm neurodivergent, I'm autistic. I've read like a few, like the first chapter and a bit of the second chapter of the book. Also listened to some podcasts and think pieces, but like based on the few pages I've read, like the issues are really prominent. This book is really hard to get through, and it's not like going like through old literature or like even like dense sci-fi books. Like Ancillary Justice, specifically the Hebrew translation, is a book I like, but like, man, it's so dense and I have a really hard time keeping up with everything. No, the book is just really hard to go through, and there's a lot of grammar issues. There's a lot of weird wording, like that just doesn't feel very deliberate. One of the things that I remember is that like she uses the word sniffspection, like a sniff inspection, which is cute, but like it's also like weird to have it in your book, and like it seems to be juggling between like gore and like very stuff. It's very middle school And I'd actually say, as someone who, like, it's very middle school, but like in a way that's charming, because you know, I also, like, as a creative, I've also had that kind of like book idea. I also had like the idea of like, oh, this is a society that like has elemental stuff. Hailglaciere, the hail that you're seeing right now, hail is just a reinvention of hail was also a character in the story that I was planning but never actually wrote. Like, I remember, like, when I was a kid, like, I remember, like, trying doing the comic, and eventually I kind of gave up because I just felt like I didn't have all the information, I felt like I was lacking in skill, and eventually I moved on. So, yeah, it's like, this story, like, touches, like, for a lot of people, because I know a lot of people who, like, have that one story idea that, like, they carry with them from middle school. Did you used to go by Penguin? Yeah, I did. My previous user handles. This is out of character. Like, I did in fact used to go by like a previous handle with Penguin, and then like I changed it. Both in my my off VTuber and off that. But like Hale was actually a character that like was an ice theme mechanic character, and like this I too like she didn't look the same. Like, she had brown hair and like a trench coat. I changed the design. And like that's and yeah, like the more you delve into it, the more like into the Age of Scorpius case, it's like it really sticks with people because of that. I've seen a lot of like people who like tackle it from like different angles. Like from the beginner writer. I've also seen someone talk about like how maybe Age of Scorpius is Audra Winter's Paracosm, which is basically like a world that's made for a cope. Yeah, it resonates with me. I also have an unwritten story that's back in my mind, but it will never be realized, sadly. I think it will. And like writing the heart book. I mean, I have like an off game project. It's not my heart book, but it's something that like I like, and I also have like some game ideas. You should never have your dream work be your first work. Make other things, get better with making things, and then you're ready to tackle a dream work. Then you can attempt it with the skills you learn. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good. I mean, I'm gonna bring it back. When I was in art school, I mean, when I was doing my animation degree, I never did like my big hard projects. Like sometimes I did like, I remember like when I did character design class, like I ended up like going with one idea, and like I just kind of felt drained, so like, okay, I'm just gonna sneak in my Ace Attorney OCs for the fic I was writing since I was 17, and the professor was chill with it. And like I remember that like I have this video game idea that like I ended up like using it as like a development, but that was like mostly because it wasn't for like the big project, it was mostly for like the side missions. And even then I like my third and fourth year projects, the big films, they were ideas that like I developed because they weren't like the big passion project, but I did have a lot of passion for them. So yeah, like it's a very like even the project I'm working in now, like I'd say that like I only came up with it like last year. And it just kind of stuck. I'd say like one of my toxic traits is that sometimes I have like story concepts and I don't follow through with them. But like the project I'm working with now, which is gonna be a webcomic, I'm actually following through on that, and it is actually happening slowly but surely. But it's not like the big hard project I've had when I was like 12. I wouldn't necessarily, and like I don't know. I have like my passion projects, my fanfics. My stuff. Like I think like you really need to like understand how to follow into that, because like I'd say that like you don't have to work on your dream work, but like maybe if you want to like take spaces, like take something adjacent, like find like something you like and then write something about it. This is actually I'm paraphrasing from one of the videos that I've seen about Audra Winter, which again, what I liked about it is that like it was very empathetic. Another thing I want to touch before like we begin then continue 999 September is the thing that like grinds my gears about Audra is the corporate speak. it's like if you look up like her videos and see how she talks, like how she talks like about a small business and an LLC, and like it just like fucking grinds my gears. And it's because like it's very LinkedIn, and I'm allergic to LinkedIn speak. I personally knew people, and I personally knew people in art school who like I knew a guy, and that guy like if you guys are like from art school and you know who I'm talking about, please don't out them. But like I knew people who were more like corpo and like spoke like they were in LinkedIn, and like there was something about it that like really grinded my gears. And I think that with Audra, it's like you can throw a bunch of theories there, but like how much of it came from her? How much of it was like from a relative that said, "Oh, you should speak like that," because as an autistic person, phrasing is the devil. Phrasing is really hard. And it's just... And it's weird. I think that, like... Otter definitely became, like, a cautionary tale. A very interesting one. But I think that, like, her, like, speaking so corporately, like, grinded my gears. Because I hate how artists are, like, forced to like go into the hellscape called LinkedIn, and how LinkedIn has all these non-fun rules. And you know, maybe part of it is because like I just haven't figured it out, but like I just don't like using LinkedIn. Whenever I look at my timeline, it's filled with a bunch of AI slop and like a lot of corpo speak, and I just hate it. Like, and because the social media that I use is Tumblr. Like I use Tumblr and Instagram and Twitter and Discord. I use a lot of Discord. Tumblr I've taken the step away from because ever since like the war broke out, like I saw like I encountered some anti-Semitic posts, and I was like, I don't want to deal with any of this. So like that's why I left Tumblr. And sometimes I want to go back to Tumblr, but like I just feel like I don't really feel like doing the filtration. But yeah, it's like LinkedIn is weird because it's like it has like a completely different language model, and some people like go in and do the networking LinkedIn, and I just like it gives me allergies. Like it makes me grow. It like just thinking about like makes me like disgusted. But like it's LinkedIn speak on TikTok. So yeah, I think that like like even with like Audra's like personality, like you see the archetype that's like presented to you, and like it's a character that you resonate. And I would say that like the feedback for Audra, it was less like there were some bullies, but like there's also a lot of like catty people. But like there's also a lot of people who are just disappointed and wonder to learn, and like apparently like unfortunately Audra being the 22-year-old person that she is, and like some 22-year-old people are very mature and some people are less so. I'd say that like when I was 22, I remember hearing that I keep like putting the out of character like tab in and out. I'm just gonna like put it in until we finish the oh shit, it seems like it there we go. I returned the music. One of the things that like really fascinates me, like when I was 22, I remember like hearing about my final assignment that it didn't work, and it broke my soul. I spent like the week going in and out of like crying, and even though my brain knew that, like and like I had a lot of talks, it was still really difficult. I also remember like having a hard time teaming up, like finding a teammate when I was 22 for like the third year project, which was like big and like all, and I just remember like failing that miserably because of class politics, and that also shattered me. I remember being 22 at that age, and like it's been what, 4 years? Holy shit, I'm 26. And like being absolutely shattered. So I really do sympathize with Audra's hardness with taking criticism. I still think that like she should like her thinking is very black and white, and like saying and like making yourself be the bigger victim when you were the one who put your internet like stuff on the internet and like specifically monetized it. I'd say like there is a layer of like but I don't know, like the entire situation is messy. So yeah, I have a lot of thoughts about the Audra Winter thing, but like I will, like the corpo speak, the book talkisms, the backlash. I will, but like I will say that one last thing is that like there is a YouTuber, and this is gonna be like a slight call out, throwing shade of like there's like I think that like if you're a YouTuber or a content creator who is covering the issue, then and like covering the drama, then at least read the excerpts that are available online if you don't feel comfortable with getting the PDF. Because I remember like seeing someone a big YouTuber who's like been covering the drama, quote unquote, and like she said, "Oh, I haven't read the book." Like she read like a comment to be like, "I never read the book and I'm not interested in reading it. So why are you covering the drama then?" It's like, listen, you don't even have to read the entire thing. I'm like, it's really hard to get through like the draft as it is now. But like at the very least, read the first chapter. All the problems are there, and it's gonna give you like a legs to stand on. And yeah, that's the thing that really gets me about like some of like the participants in Audra Winter in the discourse. Like read like the source. Don't just like steal the content of other people. Like not steal, but like present the content of other people and like do the takes. It's like, but I just feel like it's drama channel behavior. It's like, and that's the thing, like with like the Audra Winter, like you also need to like just like any discourse, there's gonna be bottom feeders. And I'm not gonna say that like I'm not a drama enjoyer, I'm a drama enjoyer, but like you also need to like understand like if you're gonna make like a statement and use your platform, like at least have some like to stand on, and not just like, and not like have the mentality of like I haven't read it myself but I heard it's bad. Like if you're gonna like get monetized, like there's already a book called The Age of Scorpius. Yeah, there's an Age of Scorpio. I'm guessing that's an Age of Scorpius. Yeah. And again, I read like a book. I read like some of it. There's just a lot of formatting. I also know that like part of it is because Audra has a hard time reading her own writing, which again, there's a lot of character. There's a lot of like things to unpack here. And honestly, we can like speak for another hour about Audra Winter. But I feel like I said what I need to say. I also felt like after seeing the video of like the one lady saying, oh, I never read the book, but I'm never planning to, but I'm gonna cover this and I'm gonna monetize my video and all that. That just like gave me the ick, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a step back from the entire the forbidden fruit that is the Audra Winter drama. I hope the next book will be less bad, and if not, then that's her choice. But now we're going to enjoy better literature. We're gonna start the 9-round. Yes, apparently we are. Basically, what we got was just a prologue. Because I spent like 30 minutes talking about Audra Winter. Okay. So 999, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. I brought myself, I have my bottled water, I have my mic at a decent amount of decibels, and I know which buttons not to click in order to not reset it. So I don't know how many people haven't seen the first stream, so I'm just gonna summarize, what you guys missed. It's basically, you have a college kid named Junpei who got kidnapped alongside 8 other strangers to a sinking boat that looks very old-fashioned. Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna click this and just not be there. And then basically they were kidnapped by a masked maniac named Zero, who's like, you have 9 hours to escape this ship, and you have to do, he's majoring in Bitcoin. What? Where is this written? Okay, we'll go back. So 8 people, 9 people. You gotta seek a way out. You have these bracelets. You have to like go in a specific thing. Junpei, you have a bunch of colorful characters, and Junpei's childhood friend from elementary school, Akane, and basically now we're going through the motions of going to another escape room and trying to seek a way out. Also, one of the 9 people died. He tried to go into one of the doors by himself and ended up setting off a small bomb that was in his small intestine. There's a lot of gore in this. There's a reason why this game is ranked mature. The gore descriptions are pretty insane. Gamer Core, since when has Junpei been majoring in Bitcoin? Is it like in the wiki? I'm going to look it up. There's no way. I don't believe you. I don't believe you that Junpei is... Uchikoshi said so in a Q&A! That sounds like an Uchikoshi thing. What the fuck? Okay, other facts about him that aren't... he always wears Calvin Klein underwear. That's also one of those. Junpei studied Bitcoin in college. That was, according to Twitter, Bitcoin business. What the fuck? Okay, I can't believe that's so fucking crazy. I'm also gonna look for his favorite drink. Oh wait, this is like there's some facts I can really get into because, well, it's spoilers for the rest of the trilogy, so I'm not gonna say. But man, that sounds like an Uchikoshi thing that he says. Also, I also saw the word bisexual somewhere. Okay. There's actually another fun fact. On Twitter, Junpei's voice actor talked about how he asked the line... Oh, wait. Yeah, there's a bunch of weird polls about, like... There's a bunch of Twitter shenanigans that the creator of the game has done. But yeah, Junpei is a business major, and he also learned Bitcoin. That's crazy. Okay, so yeah, so Bitcoin major gets kidnapped with 9 other weirdos, and yeah. So last time we went in, I decided to go through door number 4 with Lotus, Akane, and Santa, and they promptly found themselves in a new room. Jun followed Junpei as he throwed open his door. They turned around and saw that the door on the other side was open as well. Through the door there was another person, his mouth agape. It was Santa. Hey, it opened. Yeah, it did. Junpei and Santa looked at each other. They had not expected the doors to yield so easily. Lotus's calm voice broke into their thoughts. Maybe this is all part of Zero's plan? I can't say I enjoy being treated like someone's puppet. As she headed for room 93, Lotus continued. Speaking of the wiki, I love the line literate in America. What? Is that... God, the wiki is insane. There's parts of the wiki that, again, I can't get into because spoilers for the series, but like there's parts of it that are just absolute shit posts. It's half wikia, half shit posts, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Well, now we have 2 rooms. I'm sure there's something in there that'll help us get out of here. Let's find it. Santa and I will search this room. Junpei and Jun, search the other one. I love the 999 fandom. Yeah, the 999 fandom is so funny. All right. Okay. Wait, that's not her voice. This puzzle has a lot of, not this puzzle, this game. There's a lot of stuff to be investigated here, as you guys can see. Okay. Like this. This is kind of a weird looking picture. Do you think it's abstract? It's an abstract painting or something? Also, sadness they didn't have Hale wearing Junpei's 3 jackets for the VOD art. It's because the art isn't made yet. That's why. I haven't made the 3. I should do that. The art I'm using is something I commissioned from Oran, not Oren. Yes, it's that. We'll get to it. It looks kind of like a demon with an elephant-like nose. Sucking on a human being's brain. God, she's so... This escape room was when you discovered that Akane is fucking deranged. Where the hell did that come from? What's your brain made of? Can't say I mind finding out a little more about what goes on in there. Yeah, we have some things to investigate. This one is, That vase looks expensive. I wonder how much we can get for it. Are you gonna seal it? Yeah, so until now, Akane has been panicked and, sick and, relatively timid. And then she looks at these things. Newsflash, the girl you knew in elementary school has changed in the 10 years since you met her. She just says the weirdest shit. Junpei, what are you doing? We don't have the time to be relaxing on a sofa. It's a sofa. Maybe I shouldn't sit on it. June will get mad again. Okay. So, yeah, we need to click. Sometimes I like clicking things. So we have matches. It's a box of matches. There are matches inside, obviously. Okay, thank you, Miss Obvious. Junpei looked down blankly at what he was holding, then up at June. Oh yeah, how's your fever? Are you feeling better now? Yes, I'm feeling fine. June certainly looked fine. Oh wait, I need to... I forgot that, like, I gave the narrator a more ominous voice, so I need to catch up with that. June certainly looked fine. Junpei held his hand on her forehead for a few seconds. I love June Akane, she's such a vibe, best girl in fiction. Yeah. It seemed her fever really has gone down. Are you worried about me? I'm going to roll a dice on this one. Odds are the top option. Even is oh my god. Oh, it... Yeah. That was accidentally clicked on something in the keyboard. Odds are top option, bottom is like evens is bottom option. So we're gonna play it a little too... No, I think I'm just gonna say I guess I am. I take it back. This is not the place for dice rolling. Yeah, I guess I am. June blushed and giggled. By the way, Junpei? How did you end up in here? What do you mean? I told you earlier, didn't I? Didn't I? There was a man with a gas mask when you got home at night. You inhaled some white smoke and passed out. When you woke up, you were on the deck. Yeah, that's it. But is that really the truth? What? Junpei, are you hiding something from me? No. Why would I? Well, if you think about it, this is awfully suspicious. I mean, why would two childhood friends bump into each other in a place like this? Hey, I could ask you the same thing. Are you hiding something? What would I hide? Well, I don't know, anything. I mean, you're hiding it. How would I know? You mean like the number of men I've dated? Junpei's heart stumbled over itself. Oh, wow. Do you want to know? He had to admit he was a little curious. Don't worry. She smiled at him. Yeah. Only 18. Oh my god! Oh, she's collecting them. Times 0. Wow! Yeah. I guess I just haven't met Mr. Right yet. June looked a little embarrassed and scratched the back of her head in a desperate attempt to seem nonchalant. Half the fun of 999 is Junpei trying to hook up and getting trolled by his crush. Yeah. Junpei coughed quietly in the same way. Anyway, I'm not hiding anything. Just like you, Junpei. When I woke up, I was on D-Deck. Well, you do have a point. I mean, why did Zero pick us? We haven't seen each other since elementary school. Don't worry, he'll get wet later. G nodded, and for a few moments she had a faraway look of someone in deep thought. Look for what connects the victims. That'll lead you to the culprit. Do you remember Seven saying something like that? Yeah, I do. So? Well, that's what I'm saying. I think this must all have something to do with a classmate of ours. You got any ideas who it might be? No, nothing. Oh. Well, if it had something to do with school, then it could be one of the teachers, or maybe the principal? Or the janitor or the lunch lady? No, I can barely remember any of them. Yeah, I know. Junpei went back to searching, feeling unpleasant and confused. Elementary school. Elementary school. Was there anything strange that had happened in elementary school? As he searched the room, he continued to rack his brain. It's a display case, but there's nothing being displayed. How sad. Looks like the drawers are empty too. Nope. Okay, not much to look for here. I guess we can go in the shower and see if there's anything inside. It's a bottle with water in it. Which reminds me, damn, Feel Wet Incorporated is 18 years old. What? Okay, we're going to... Okay, Gamercore, I see it's something you sent me in the DMs. We're going... I'll check it out next time. We'll probably... I'll look at it. I'll look at Feel Wet Incorporated once we finish the screen. This is a better one. They probably have it here because your throat always feels dry when you wake up. You know? My throat's dry, but I don't think that's because I'm a little I think that's because I'm a little nervous right now. Wait, you don't know Feel Wet Incorporated? It's a Zero Escape classic. I don't. Well, we did run a lot, so we're kind of sweaty. Hey, Junpei, do you want to take a shower together? Oh my god! Whoa! Just kidding! Too late to take it. Oh my god! Ma'am! My brain's already working out the picture. Wow. I forgot at least half of the things this lady says. Wow. Wooden cupboard. There are cups inside as far as I know. I forgot how funny she is. It's a light blue blanket with some designs on it. Someone's made the bed, or at least never unmade it. There's only bed sheets under the blanket, nothing exciting. Look, there's two pillows right next to each other. It's a double... Huh? What's up? You're turning red. Oh man, is her fever back? Hey, are you alright? Do you need to lay down for a minute? I'm fine. I think it's a little early. Jesus, she's a walking innuendo machine. Hey, seriously, are you really okay? This isn't a painting. It's a map. It looks like a map of the ship's interior. Indeed she is. We love her. She's a walking innuendo machine. Banger music. Yeah. The soundtrack for this game, like, listen, I remember watching a Let's Play of it back in, like, 2012, and that soundtrack has stuck with me even before, like, I played the game myself. Oh, this is a great find. I think it'll be really useful. Let's take it with us. It is now possible to use the map screen. The map screen will only view during the story sections. It's entirely different from function. Junpei took one last look at the map, then folded it and slid it back into his pockets. I hope I live up to her examples. Jun looked as he closed it. This ship is bigger than I thought. Yeah, it's probably like 900 feet long. Must be one of those fancy cruise ships. Of course, it doesn't really look like a cruise ship. Everything in here is really retro. Even if it's some sort of style choice, there's just too much. Do you remember what Zero said?
On April 14th, 1912, the famous ocean liner Titanic crashed into an iceberg. After remaining afloat for 2 hours and 40 minutes, it sank beneath the waters of the North Atlantic.
Do you think maybe this boat and the Titanic have something to do with each other? That's a good point. I doubt he would have mentioned it if there wasn't a reason. Junpei took a moment to look around the room. Do you think the boat is... Okay, I think that in here I'm gonna roll the dice. The actual Titanic? The actual Titanic? The actual Titanic? You mean it, like, slipped through time and ended up here? Before the ship sunk on April 14th, 1912. I read it wrong, my bad. Huh? What the hell are you smoking? Huh. Did I get it wrong? Junpei grinned and shook his head. No, that's not... I mean, come on, slip through time? Seriously? I was talking about the controversy surrounding the Titanic. Controversy? What do you mean? Haven't you heard of it? It's pretty famous, you know. The Titanic is a sister ship that was essentially identical. It was called the Olympic. Oh yes, I've heard of that. If I remember correctly, the Olympic was a ship that had a lot of problems, and the company that owned it didn't know how to get rid of it, right? So they made the Olympic up just to look like the brand new Titanic. And then they sunk it on purpose. That's right. They also took out a huge insurance policy on it before it set sail. That would mean the real Titanic never sank. Yeah, the ships got swapped. The real Titanic was renamed the Olympic in secret and was used as a passenger ship for more than 20 years. Hey, wait a minute. Wouldn't that mean that it retired in 1935? Huh? Well, yeah, I guess sometime around then, yeah. Well, what happened to it after that? I heard it was dismantled. Dismantled? Then it doesn't matter, does it? Whichever boat the real Titanic was, it doesn't exist anymore. It was either retired and dismantled or sunk in the Atlantic by the curse. But then that would mean that this ship is... Wait! What did you just say? Huh? Oh, guys, this is another Uchikoshi staple. Yapping about random trivia that is totally not related to the game at hand. Sunk in the Atlantic because of what? The curse. What do you mean, a curse? A curse is a curse. This one is the curse like of the Egyptian mummy. Junpei could understand how June has maintained a... Junpei could understand how June had maintained a straight face to say that. Yeah, it is kind of relevant. Semi-relevant tangents. Supposedly, the Titanic carried the mummy of the priestess Amon-Ra, which was stolen from the pyramid. And they say that the mummy had a history. Everyone involved in it died mysterious deaths. Come on, I'm sure you've heard of it before. Those who open the coffin will be forever cursed. Haven't you heard that one? So you're saying the Titanic sunk because of that curse? That's right. June's eyes had lit up with excitement like a child with a new toy. That's stupid. I don't buy it. It's true. How could you be so sure? That mummy wasn't just a normal mummy. It was really mysterious. Totally unbelievable. What is so unbelievable about it? Well,
Supposedly, she was really pretty.
Pretty.
Yes,
But she was a mummy.
that's right. She wasn't all shriveled up or rotten or anything. She looked just like she was alive.
Oh, I get it. It's that thing. I don't remember the name. Where your body turns into some kind of wax. If a dead body is put in the right sort of environment, the fat and it turns into something kind of like candle wax, right? And
Yes, saponification, but that's not what it was.
huh?
That's not it. She wasn't wax.
Then what is it?
They say that she was frozen.
What? Frozen.
That's right. The whole body was frozen solid. You know how a human body is more than 60% water? Well, all of that water was frozen. The story says that from the time of its discovery, all the way to when it got pulled from out colder than the Titanic. And even though it was carried through the desert, her body never melted.
Jin and Junpei talked a little more, and then went back to their investigation. But even as they did, his mind went back to what she told him. God, you can tell Uchikoshi's favorite character is Akane, lol. Yeah, it is. That is pretty true. He has good taste, though. It's kind of like when you play Fate Stay Night, and you can really tell who Nasu's favorite character to write is Rin Tosaka. Which, again, good taste. Ice that wouldn't melt, even in a desert. Could such a thing really exist? No, even if it did, it wouldn't really be ice anymore, would it? The more he thought about it, the more his head hurt. Like he'd eaten an ice cream too fast. Ruby-chan! Hi! Nani ga suki? Chocominto! Yorimo anata! I'm sorry. Okay, we have a key. Anything else?
This is the mirror for the dresser.
And now she's playing with her hair. She didn't realize she's doing that. Hey. Oh, I see we have another watcher. Hello, welcome to the stream. We're playing 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Or 999 for sure. It's good seeing you, Sinanova. I hope you stick around. Come on, it's not like there's anyone here you need to impress.
Yes, there is.
Who? What? Why are you so quiet all of a sudden?
Ugh, forget it, Junpei.
Wow. Junpei fumbled. Anything else we need to see here? Nope, nothing in the display case, and the drawers are empty too.
That's the bathroom wall. There's square tiles all over it.
There's a little blue platform protruding from the shower hall next to the knobs. It's for putting soap on. I used the shower once, so I know. Junpei, I'm pretty sure you already used the shower.
Junpei, do you think there might be something in the shower curtain?
Well, maybe.
You want to try closing it?
Well, right now we don't know anything, but let's keep looking. We also need to look for a dresser. It's just a shower head, there's nothing special about it. I think the if I remember correctly, there's something in the geometry of the shapes. Now, let's check the toilet.
There's nothing there. The tank's empty, too. There isn't even water in it.
Sus.
A collection of full and partially depleted rolls of toilet paper.
Someone was well prepared.
There's nothing too suspicious about it.
Is there Akane? Is there Akane? I think there is actually a dresser. Yeah. Why don't we go back to the living room?
Okay, let's go back.
Still feel like I missed something here. anything in the bed? Maybe it's patterns? Should we take another look at this blanket?
No, I think we've covered it pretty well.
I can't watch Zero Escape though everyone times like I can't watch Zero Escape though every time you say Akane, I try and respond. My punishment is for her. My punishment for having her be my I can't say it!
A bed frame. Why don't...
Oh my god. They just... You know, this kind of... Oh, you know, I was about to, like, say something, but then I remembered that, like, it's spoilers for, like, another game in this series, so I'm just gonna... Chair that goes with the dresser. There's nothing particular about it. Oh, this was closed. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna find anything else in here. Let's go to the other room.
Junpei, where are you going?
I was thinking of going over to Lotus's room.
Why?
What do you mean, why? I'm just gonna go check up on them. Is there something wrong with that?
Well, no. Come back soon.
Sure thing. I'll leave the rest to you.
Sure. Leave it to me.
Alright, off to the other room. A tile with a black and white pattern on it. It's like a valuable vase. Empty though. Seems to be a room on the left side of the house. Vase. There's no shower curtains. This is the bathroom wall. The whole wall is covered in these square tiles. No shower. There's a curtain rod in the ceiling. It's probably for shower curtains. Where are the curtains then? That means that if someone's taking a shower, nobody else can use the bathroom. So I don't see a problem with that. Junpei, you're a pervert. Is there anything in the toilet? Guess not. Tank's empty too. Some toilet paper. We've got 2 rolls, I guess. No, doesn't seem like there's anything here. But there's a candle here. A candle with a candlestick. This might come in handy. Oh, I know how to combine this. This with that. I know. If I use these matches to light the candle. Well, now we can do something with that. Awesome, with the light on with the candle, maybe we can take a look around over there. But it gets so hot when I hold it. I want to put it down. Well, why didn't you set it on top of the dresser? It's flat there. At least it won't fall over. Oh yeah, good idea. Hey, it got pretty bright. Now we can look around a little. Junpei, stop being such a baby bitch. Yeah. See this. Yes! Yes, it worked! And inside we have another plate. Anything else? Another shower curtain. Nice. Huh? Hey, what the hell? It just got dark all of a sudden. Maybe the candle got blown out. We should go see. There's a candlestick covered in melted wax on top of the dresser. Hey, what's this? The top of the candlestick looks kind of weird. Oh no, I have to escape this death game on a sinking ship, and my hand is hot from holding a candle. Yeah, you're right. It's all bumpy. It's a key. Okay. We're getting somewhere. It's cold and quiet as death itself. Wow, you're a drama queen. I think that I got what I needed from that room. Well, this is a display case. Check it out. These plates and shit look really expensive. You wanna take a look? I'd say yes. Let's see if this candlestick key would do anything. Yes, it opened. Alright, pull that shit open. This tile. I think I've seen it somewhere. Yeah, I know. And it looks like the one we saw in the other room. Okay, we got a plate. Hey, Junpei, you got a minute? Sen had shown up out of nowhere and gave Junpei a no small start. Here, take this. Santa pulled something out of his pocket. It looked like a bookmark. It had a 4-leaf clover in it. What's this? I found it in between some of the cushions on the sofa. Pretty sure it ain't gonna be of any help to us, but I figure we might as well hang on to it anyway. And why don't you hold on to it? Santa gave him a wry smile. You know what I hate most in the world? I got 4 things. Hope, faith, love, and luck. Wow. Now that's what I call edgy. Hope, faith, love, and luck. Damn straight. And you hate these things? Yeah, you got a problem with that? Not really, but... Junpei tried to figure out how to best phrase what he wanted to say. What does a bookmark have to do with any of that? Santa scratched the back of his ear and looked awkward. Well, see? Each leaf on the 4-leaf clover has a meaning to it, okay? And the meaning is pretty much those 4 words. It's like flower language. I gotta say, Santa's another one of my faves, and then I realized I love all the 999 characters. Lol. Yeah, they're all great so far. Well, I guess it's not a flower, is it? Some leaf language, I guess. Yeah, you could call them leaf words. Leaf words. Junpei looked at the bookmark. Hope, faith, love, and luck. So yeah, I want you to take it, okay? Just touching it gives me creeps. The damn thing, alright? Santa pretended to shiver with disgust and shoved the bookmark into Junpei's confused hands. Junpei? What do you want to do? Well, I'd say that because we're not going for the true ending round. I think we're gonna let him suffer a bit. No, keep it for yourself. Thanks, but no thanks. It's kind of weird to be getting presents for another dude, you know? Oof, casual homophobia. Santa's eyebrows went out. Apparently I hadn't thought of that. Well, I guess you do have a point. I won't force it on you. Sure you don't want it? Junpei, what the fuck? You're bi. Yeah. I guess in a year. Yeah, technically. I don't want it. Yeah, I don't want it. Why didn't you give it to Lotus? Good idea, will do. Santa turned and headed off to the other room. Hey, you old bag! I just found this perfect thing for a woman in her 40s. He walked in the next room waving her bookmark. Junpei... That's so rude! Was Santa giving Junpei a clever bookmark is by awakening in Zero-Time Dilemma? Maybe. She bit the shit out of him! And I heard a faint sound from the other room. The sound of bones breaking. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear that. Junpei returned to his search with renewed vigor. Don't piss off Lotus. Hey, check it out. This is a pretty nice sofa. Yeah, she is a queen. I know. It's a shame I can't take it back with me. I like the implications of Lotus not having a sofa, you know? It's a wall covered with small square tiles. They all got some geometric shapes on them. Oh, I need to do this. There's a curtain on it along the ceiling. Let's put on the shower curtain with those hooks. Aha! I see what's wrong. I see what's going on here. Let's try spreading the curtains. There's a hole in the curtain. If I look through it from ways back, I can see a single tile. Alright, from there I can see what tile it is. Looks like it's 5th from the top and 3rd from the right. This one. Alright, looking through this hole I can see a white tile, 5th on the floor and 3rd from the right. Let's have a closer look, shall we? Nothing strange here. Nope, this thing's not budging. Well, that means... It's from the yeah, it's probably in the other room. Wait, no, I need to take the shower curtains with me. We need to do a switcheroo, basically. I mean, I'm pretty sure she has one. She just wanted to steal a fancy one. I think she will probably do that. Well, that's a pretty obvious people. Somebody's really dedicated. Well, with all this, you gotta wonder if they wanted to be not. They're saying maybe the one getting spied on was into that shit. Maybe they were into like those home invasion fantasies. Home invasion. Interesting, I see. You two are real idiots, you know that? At least it isn't lower, yeah. Wait, I can't take it off? Oh, I think I know what I need to do. What's up? You going back already? Oh, I can't just leave June by herself. What, you think you're a knight or a protector or something? You're creeping me out. Whatever, man. I'm going. Here it is. Yeah, this one's loose. I can get it under it with my nails. And yes. Another plate. So we have 3 plates, meaning we can assemble the puzzle. The exit. Lotus and Santa are in the room on the other side. I'm gonna go check up on them. There's a tile in the frame, so I guess I'm supposed to put tiles in the empty spaces. Alright, I'm gonna give it a shot. Santa's consistent thinking that Junpei is a creep, so consistent throughout the series. Santa's consistent. Oh, that's funny. Is Junpei a creep? That's my question. I know how. Okay. I know. This needs to go here. There we go. We did it. So now we're gonna get one of the best monologues in the entire series. I hope you guys are ready for it. Yes, I did it. There, picture complete. And there goes the frame. What's this? What do you mean, what's this? Pretty obvious, isn't it? It's a hole in the wall. Like a hidden safe or something, you know? Anyway, let's take a look. I think there's something inside. That's the key! Junpei messed around a bit with the key he had, and looked blankly at the picture that slid down. What's the deal with this picture, anyway? Santa had only been mumbling to himself, but it drew Lotus's attention. She looked at the picture and paused. I think I've seen this picture before. Where? In a book. There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He had a rather interesting theory. I saw this picture in his book. What's this interesting theory? Morphogenetic field, which relies to the theory of morphic resonance. Man, I can't deal with this. Just listening to you talk about it is giving me a headache. Santa, you better get used to it. Santa put his hands on his head, as though he were in a great pain. Lotus merely arched an eyebrow in his direction and continued. It's not a difficult concept to grasp. In essence, he states that the shapes of living organisms and their behavioral patterns are transmitted through a field not visible to the eye. What part of that isn't difficult exactly? Lotus didn't look pleased. Alright, how about this? Theory of the telepathic mechanism. Telepathy? Yes, telepathy. Well, perhaps not exactly telepathy, but it is close enough for a simple approximation. Santa suddenly burst into laughter. Are you serious? Telepathy! Who do you think we are, kids from the 70s? I can't believe you would actually do some serious research on something like that. Yes, I agree. Wow, Game Report is sending me a lot of stuff that will be nice to read over when we finish this game. Lotus's response was surprisingly curt. Junpei has expected at least some conflict. I read the book, but I can hardly say I understood it. I'm in no I'm in no position to defend or condemn anything it said. It was probably someone latching onto a statistical outlier from some study and turning it into a ridiculous theory. There's no scientific merit to any of it, I'm sure. But even so, Anyway, I saw a picture like that one in this book. Lotus indicated a picture they've all been looking at. After a moment, she walked through the strange picture, examined it, and spoke. Hey, what do you think this picture looks like? Santa answered first. What do you mean? Isn't it just like abstract or something like that? Just black and white scribbles. There's no meaning there. Santa strikes me at least as a curtains are blue type of guy. That's it. What about you, Junpei? Does it look like something to you? I guess it looks like a man's face, a butterfly, koi, a dog, a small boat floating in a lake, and a Funayarinpa. So we're going to pick the funny option. Because obviously it looks like a dog, but you do actually get a really funny option from a really funny response if you pick this. A Funayarinpa? See? I mean, solely looks like one. Here and here. Junpei indicated parts of the picture that looked exactly like the other parts. After 3 seconds of silence, Lotus looked at Junpei. What the hell is a Funayarinpa? What do you mean, what the hell is a Funayarinpa? You mean, you don't know? How the hell would I know? How could you not know? That's practically blasphemous. Say you're sorry. Apologize to the Funayarinpa. Goodness, you're such a rude woman. Funayarinpa is the newest cryptocurrency. One Funayarinpa is worth at least $3 million. You really need to investigate in Funayarinpa. I should know. I majored in Bitcoin. Another 3 seconds of awkward silence went by. Lotus opened her mouth as she shook. Junpei, are you just screwing around? Forget it. I'm just gonna tell you. This is a dog. See? Like this. What the dog doing? Lotus pointed out parts of the picture, and eventually a dog took shape in them. It looked as though she had a point. It was a dog. Sand also nodded in agreement. It would later become a copper plate. The Funayarinpa, you mean? So, now we know what it's a picture of, but I don't see how it helps us. Lotus nodded and began to speak. A TV show from Great Britain did an experiment once. They took 2 similar pictures. Both of them were difficult to identify initially. And once you'd figure out the answer, you couldn't see it as anything else. The first picture was a woman wearing a hat. The other one, well, to make it easier, let's just say it was this picture of a dog. So, their experiment... First they sent the pictures to other parts of the world where British radio and television didn't reach. To Ireland, US, Africa, Europe, etc. Then, in each country, they gathered a number of test subjects. All in all, there were roughly 1,000 people. Those 1,000 people were shown the 2 pictures and asked, what does this picture look like to you? The results, in and of themselves, were not terribly interesting. 9.2% of the people saw the lady in the lady picture. 3.9% saw the dog in the dog picture. Then 2 days later, they broadcast a new show. During the 30-minute show, they broadcast the dog picture and its solution. The audience was estimated to be 200,000 people. After the broadcast, it could be assumed that the number of people who knew the solution to the dog picture now totaled over 200,000 people. After another 2 days had passed, they gathered a number of research subjects from areas where British TV and radio did not exist. This time, they were only able to find a sample of roughly 850 people. Naturally, none of them were people who had participated in the first test. They were, however, given the same test on the same 2 pictures. The results were shocking. 10% of the people who saw the lady in the lady picture. The previous test had yielded a 9.2 success rate. The change was not statistically significant. The dog picture, however, produced a very different result. The percentage of people that were able to successfully find the dog grew from 3.9 to 6.8%, a very significant increase. So, do you understand? Do you realize the significance of this experiment? There is no way a second group could have seen the picture. They lived far away from Britain and couldn't have seen the picture. But even so, it was only the success rate for the dog picture that went up. Why? How did that happen? What does it mean? Lotus looked back and forth from Junpei to stand up and back again. Naturally calm and collected, she looked now as though she was nearly possessed, and there was something manic about her manner. Also gonna save. Also, I just noticed that there's blood cells in the end of it. Like, there's blood cells alongside electrical doodads. Santa took an involuntary step backward. Junpei didn't budge and stared straight into Lotus's eyes. Does this have something to do with that field or whatever that you were talking about earlier? A field that's not visible to the eye? So if more people know the answer, then that information will pass through the field. Psych! Her manner suddenly shifted and Lotus smiled broadly at Junpei and Santa. She waved her hand dismissively, doing her best to laugh at the whole confrontation off. Oh, I was just kidding. You really shouldn't take me seriously. Well, I mean, the things I just told you about were true. They really did happen, but the results of the experiment really aren't anything to go by. They could have easily falsified them. In the end, I'm sure they were just in it for the ratings. They are a TV station after all. At last, it seems Santa had gained the control of his composure. Right! Man, I gotta admit, you had me there for a minute. I really thought you were serious. Of course not. Like I told you before, I'm sure it's all just pseudoscience. Okay, right. Santa and Lotus laughed and gave one another jovial claps on the shoulder. Junpei, however, didn't feel much like laughing. Something felt wrong, unclear. Alright, enough nonsense. We've got the key. Let's get out of here. Word. Lotus and Santa walked away from the picture, but Junpei stayed, staring at the picture of the dog. You know, unfortunately, I also see the weird alien thing that Akane pointed out. That Akane pointed out. I'll get it eventually, chat. A field not visible to the naked eye. Morphogenetic field. The more he thought about it, the more his head hurt. Alright, let's go to the hallway. I'll go get June. You guys head to the door. Okay. Roger that. Well, we gotta stop saying it the same way 3 times to say it properly. Yes! It's unlocked! Good job, Junpei. Good, now we can get going. Come on, what are you guys standing around for? Let's get out of here. Come on, Junpei, let's go! Alright, let's go. Open the door. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick and then we'll be there. So I'm gonna put the be right back animation because I will be right back. Let's go. Yeah, good to see you, Mercy. Let's get back to the narration. They stepped through the door to find themselves in a wide hallway. Junpei, June, Lotus, and Santa stopped for a moment and looked at their surroundings. A short distance away, a metal grate extended across the width of the hallway. Bonjour! Ew, French. Just kidding. They took and shook, but refused to move. Nearby was a pair of elevators. It took only a few button presses to determine that the elevators would not respond to their efforts. They could only assume the elevators were not powered. There was only one door left. Well, looks like we don't have any choice. Yeah. Sure does. Well then, let's open it. Junpei grabbed the whole of the knob and quietly pushed the door open. Okay, time for the next puzzle, the kitchen. He entered slowly, trying to take as much of his surroundings as he could. The others followed shortly. So it's a kitchen. Santa did not look pleased. When were you expecting? Isn't it obvious? The exit. I was hoping this would be the way out of here. You really think it'd be that easy? Yeah, I know, still. As they talked, Lotus headed deeper into the room. Until at last she stood in front of the door. If we can just get through this door, we should come out of the other side of that grate we saw earlier. But don't we need a key for that? Sorry, I guess that wasn't very constructive. Neither Junpei nor Lotus looked terribly happy. Junpei dug the ship map from his pocket and spread it out in front of him. As he did. Hey! What's that? Huh? Oh yeah, I guess I forgot to tell you. I found this a little while ago. It's a map of the B deck. Before Junpei could finish, Lotus snatched the map away from him. She ran her finger across it, muttering to herself. I knew it. See? Look! Junpei did as was told. Senna and June moved over to look at the map as well. See? We came in here. If we go out of there, then we'll be on the other side of the grate. With her finger, Lotus traced the path on the map. She was right. Satisfied that she had been correct, Lotus folded the map and handed it back to Junpei. He took it and slid a valuable piece of paper back into his pocket. There's a card reader on the right side of the door. And that means the key card is somewhere in here, right? That seems most likely. Alright, we know what we need to do then. Let's get moving. First off, I say we split up and look for clues.
Okay.
I was just looking at the ending guide so I'd be sure what to take. Okay. What have we here? A voucher. It says appetizer 9 with dish 10, soup, eggs, fish. Okay, time to go go. Oh, I remember what's gonna happen here. Giant plates look pretty expensive. They're plates for appetizers. Remember, appetizers usually come in square plates. Okay, well excuse me, princess. 1, 2, 3, there's 10 of them. If you flip these over, they look like halves. The middle is super deep for plates. They're soup plates. They're made that way so the soup doesn't spill. Zelda reference, yeah. If you ever get out of here, you should treat yourself to a nice dinner. I think, soup that you said is 10? What makes you think a poor college student has the money to do something like that? 10 of them to snack here. Okay, so we have 10 soup bowls. I think there are 15 of these plates. I'm assuming they're for seafood. Seafood is 15. Got it. How the hell can you tell that? They look just like any other plate from the 99-cent store. If you ever take a lady out for dinner, you're going to embarrass yourself. I feel sorry for you, June. What? Why the hell are you bringing up June? The lady doth protest so much, methinks. You're not terribly subtle. There's a bunch of little wavy wedges on this plate. Those plates are for serving meat. Ugh, you really are ignorant, aren't you? Come on, it's not like I need to know this crap. Jeez. So, we have... That's because the magic numbers of the plates on the table. It says appetizers 9, meat dish 10, soup A, seafood dish F on the voucher. And the plates on the table are 9 appetizers. 16 meat? Oh, 16 meat. Okay. It's not 10. 10 soup and 15 seafood. Maybe they're using the hexadecimal here. And a hexadecimal is? It's a number system that goes 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, 10, 11. You're familiar with base 10, right? That's the normal system for numbers. Base 10 equivalents for hexadecimal numbers would go like this. A equals 10, B equals 11, C equals 12, D equals 13, E 14, and 15. And 10 is 16. And then 10 becomes 16. The 10 becomes 16 in base 10. Ah. Lotus is punishing him for saying she doesn't know the Funayarinpa. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I know it sounds strange, but you can think of it as just 6 letters added to the normal number system after 9. A equals B. Okay, I'm gonna... 10... B equals 11... C equals 12... D 13... E 14... F 15... 10... 16, and so on. I think I get it. I still need to get my head wrapped around it. I'm a little confused. A countertop. We've got a rolling pin and a coal hanger. Nothing useful, in other words. A well-kept countertop doesn't seem to be keeping anything useful on it, though. Wow, this pot looks like it's made out of silver. I bet drinking tea from this pot would be really yummy. Spending a day off with June, drinking tea. Did such a day ever happen to me? Did you pee? Oh, nothing. We don't really need hot water, so we should be moving on. It even looks really old-fashioned. Probably means it's an old boat. It's a note. It's got a bunch of stuff written on it, but it doesn't look like a code or anything like that. Just a bunch of instructions for using cooking utensils. Nothing really suspicious about that. Got water in it. A couple of plates on there, but I don't think they're gonna help us much. Whetstone. A whetstone? What are you planning to do with that? Ah, shit. Don't tell me you're gonna try and smash open the card. Are you an idiot? If you do that, then we'll never get out of here. Oh. Yeah, I guess that would be too bad, huh? The whetstone's only gonna be useful if we need to sharpen something. Maybe there's tables for preparing food. There are plates everywhere. A trash can. There's a thing inside of it. Well, better than being full of rotten food, I suppose. Damn it, there's nothing in here. Hey, Santa, digging through the trash really suits you. What the hell did you just say? Listen, lady, I did you a favor. I knew you just piss and moan. I knew you just piss and moaned it, so I did it for you. Oh my. I didn't recall asking you to do anything. I had to throttle you. Excuse me? Does it feel colder in here? Alright, it's going... Do you think it's all part of Zero's plan? Probably. Kinda hard to believe there's a chef on board somewhere. I wonder what the drawer is. Do you see the metal grate on top of the grill? They make it look like that so the fat and juices can drip off the meat while it cooks. The drawer seems to be stuck. It won't open. Meaning we need to find some oil. Oh, a password. I'll need to take care of the iron oven. Looks pretty heavy duty. It probably is industrial quality. I bet you could cook anything with this. Anyway, let's have a look inside. Damn, I knew it. It's locked. All we got here is a pot and frying pan. Oh, and a pressure cooker. I guess we could use some of those as weapons. What kind of idiot are you? You're gonna run around holding that thing while you're looking for the dead? Hey man, it's just a joke. Why so serious? Wow, you can tell this game was localized in the late 2000s, early 2010s. There's ingredients in there. I could put something for us. Oh, you can actually cook? Who the hell do you think I am? You better believe I know how to boil hot water and put it in my instant noodles. and I can boil eggs too. I mean, that's impressive. Good on you. That's the card reader. There's another door. This is the door he came through. It's not locked, so we can go back out. But what's the point, right? All that's out there is an iron gate and a dead-end hallway. Yep. Might as well be locked, bro. Okay. Oh, right, the pantry. There's so much stuff in here. A whole lot of cans. It's probably the pantry. There's milk in here. Milk in an iron barrel. Judging by the rust, it's probably really old. Maybe we shouldn't open it. I don't think it'd be a pretty sight. Wooden box on the second row. Ah, a knife. Rusty knife. I don't think we'll be able to use it while it's like this. The knife seemed important, Junpei thought, but it wasn't going to be much used the way it was. It's futile. Futile? You know, a waste. Useless. Pointless. Oh. Any particular reason you want to bring that up? Oh, no reason really. I was just thinking about futility. Another one coming in. She wasn't making much sense. Junpei tried rephrasing his question. Why were you thinking about futility? At last she answered. Well, it has something to do with the Titanic. The Titanic? Yep. Have you ever heard a story of the sinking of the Titanic was predicted? I'm gonna roll the dice. Yes, I have. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. There was a novel that had a bunch of stuff in it that described the sinking of the Titanic. Before it actually sank. Yep, that's the one. The title of the novel is Futility.
was written 14 years before the Titanic sunk. But
I know. I mean, I didn't know the name of the book, but the story was the same, right? It was just like what happened on the Titanic.
yeah,
Well, I heard it was all a hoax.
a hoax?
I heard that stuff that matched up with the Titanic so well was actually added after it sank. Apparently, the only thing that was the same originally was that the boat ran into an iceberg and sank.
But the novel was published in 1898, 14 years before the accident.
Like I said, that was the first print of the book. 14 years later, the author heard about what happened to the Titanic. He figured that was his chance, you know? He just went back and changed some stuff in his novel. So that it matched the Titanic exactly. Surprised by Junpei's response, Jun seemed rather taken aback.
Really?
Really. There's no such thing as premonitions or any of that stuff. For a moment, Jun looked really unhappy. More than Junpei thought was normal for a discussion. But it lasted only a moment. No apparent reason, she suddenly looked up at him and laughed.
But...
Is this a movie from the movie company? It's a visual novel. Get with the program, explode things.
That wasn't the only book that predicted the Titanic sinking.
It wasn't.
Yep. There were 2 other similar stories written by a man named William Thomas Stead. Both of them before the accident. But in 1886 and one in 1892. Stead wrote 2 stories that had striking similarities to the Titanic disaster. In one, 2 ships collided, and many of the passengers died because there weren't enough lifeboats. I can't believe men can write books in the lore of this game.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
In other words, a ship collided with an iceberg and sank.
I don't know. I mean, I'll give you that. It seems a little weird, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't too uncommon for ships that hit icebergs back in the day, or even other ships. I thought that all male writers died after Dostoevsky. Yeah, Dostoevsky took all of them with him.
Right. I knew you'd say that. But what if Stead had some sort of special powers? To be more specific, what if he had the ability to do automatic writing?
What? Automatic writing? Wait, are you talking about that thing where someone says they're possessed by a spirit? Bro had a printer. Dostoevsky? Yeah, I mean, I think the printing press was already invented by them. And then they wrote a bunch of stuff without knowing what they were writing?
Yes.
What do you mean, yes? That stuff's a load of bull. Okay, let's say hypothetically that automatic writing isn't a total load. These guys still couldn't have predicted the sinking of the Titanic. When this Stead dude wrote his thing, nobody had died. Okay. And we're back. Seems like please write to me if I'm back. It seems like I am. I think that, Explode Things, notice about, Dostoevsky having a printer, probably crashed the stream, not to point any fingers. Okay. I mean, he was a real person, though. Okay. So, am I back? Is everybody, is everything, good? Okay. Seems like it is recording properly, but man, it seems like, once again, I'm going to have to attach both of these, streams and post. I hate doing that. Yeah, are we back? Yeah, it seems like we are back. Are we so back? I'm gonna check before we go back to this. Hello? Okay, seems like we are back. Okay, cool. We can continue. William Thomas Stead was a passenger in the Titanic.
He just wrote down what he saw with his own eyes, 20 years before it happened.
What is she smoking? He decided it was probably best to say nothing. What June was saying was insane and utterly absurd. If he tried to take what she was saying seriously, he'd go mad. Junpei smiled uncomfortably. Well, why don't we talk about this some other time, okay? Huh? But... Her voice trailed off and she glanced on the floor, troubled. Tap, tap. Junpei tapped June gently on the shoulder and awkwardly reached around her to pick up the knife from the box. Well, you know, June looked fell again. Okay. So I managed to restore my internet again. Lots of technical difficulties today, but yeah, thank you for bearing with it. Ugh. I think that's where the coal goes. Okay, so it seems like we still have some shit we need to look for. I still feel like we need something from there. What else did we check? Pantry. I'm so bad at navigating. Tank with a pipe coming out of it, nothing really that special. That's the exit. There's a big old iron plate on the door. I think we can open it. Hey, Santa, can you open that door, please? What the hell? There's no way I could open that thing. Guess you're getting to that age where your eyes start to go, huh? You better watch your mouth, or someone won't be... Blech. You better watch your mouth, boy, or someone won't live long enough to see that door opened. This has two of them on the edge. You gotta get out of here and fast. Ah! The bolt is rusted in place. It won't budge. Of course, maybe if I put some oil on it. Hey! Just a little bit of oil in it. Come on, you little son of a bitch. Whoa! Ha! Yes! Got you, little bastard! Saddest, don't know the messages of, maybe you restart your chat, it doesn't show on stream. It didn't? Ah, fuck. Yeah, there's a... There was a lot of, there was a bit of technical difficulty on my end. Yeah, and some of the stuff went away. I was just busy playing the game, I didn't really notice the settings. You're so smart! And it seems like that was the oil we needed. The rest of it is rusted. As Junpei walked into a room, a blast of cold air washed over him. Almost instinctively, he folded his arms tightly across his chest, doing what he could to conserve body heat. It's cold here. What is this place? Are you blind? It's a freezer. Santa's teeth had already begun to chatter. Hardly surprising. The freezer was far too cold for someone as dressed as he was. Lotus, however, was an even worse situation. No, oh, no way. That's too cold for me. I'll freeze solid in seconds. Sorry, but I'm afraid I'll have to pass on this one. I'm going to leave the rest to you. With that, she ran out of the room. I mean, I don't blame her. As Lotus left, June came in. Whoa, it's really cold in here. Light puffs of steam hovered in front of their faces as they talked. June had already started to shiver. Hey, you don't need to be here. You had a fever just a little bit ago. You should stay outside. We got this. No, I'm fine. My fever's gone down now. But June had scarcely opened his mouth. Again? Oh, it was a few minutes ago. When a thunderous sound of metal upon metal rang behind them. In unison, they spun around to find the door has only recently come through. Was closed. Junpei rushed to the door. Desperately grabbed hold of the doorknob. Ow! It was cold beyond cold. Merely touching it was painful. The doorknob has frozen solid. They quickly deduced that the pipe next to the door has ruptured. Water released by the rupture hit the door and frozen instantly. Santa shoved Junpei aside and pounded against the door. Hey, Lotus! You're out there, right? Open the door! She wasted no time responding. What do you want? What's going on? The door won't open. Try opening it from that side. Please. Open the door. Fine. If you say so. Hold on. Soon they could hear Lotus on the other side of the door. The grunting ceased. They could hear light panting as from exertion. It's no use. It won't budge. We've got more people in there. You figure it out. God damn it. Santa was shaking like a newborn deer. June was hugging herself and shivering violently. Even June, the heaviest clothes of all of them, was clearly feeling the cold. With every breath they took, they could feel the cold working its way deeper and deeper into their bodies. Anyway, let's find a way out. If we don't get moving, we're gonna be permanent residents. Two heads are better than none. I'm sure we'll figure something out. Yeah, you're right. Let's just take a good look around the room, okay? Right. They pushed in close to one another and began to search. There's some frozen meat up there. Looks like pork. What's this? Looks like a tag or something. It's a chunk of pork. Anything here? Oh, it's dry ice. Junpei picked up the dry ice with his sleeves as if to avoid burning himself. Dry ice is just frozen carbon dioxide, right? You know what you must do, Hale? No, I don't. I forgot. Why does it sound like the leaving the inventory? Why does the leaving inventory sound is just basically cloud noise? Is it? Yeah, it is. I wonder how warm it has to get for it to turn back into gas again. Hell if I know. Just show June my meat. Ah, yes. That's not halal. You can't do that. Maybe we should wait until we escape. It's pork. Hell if I know. How's that gonna help us anyway? Oh well, I figured you might be able to use it to get out of here. They were about to move on when Juna spoke up.
Carbon dioxide sublimation point is negative 109 degrees. Any warmer than that and it'll turn into gas. Any lower and it becomes a solid.
Junpei looks at her, dumbfounded. Human is just long pork. Yeah, neither human meat is also not halal. Or kosher, in that matter. How do you know that?
Despite my looks, I'm the queen of the queen of random knowledge.
Again, not halal.
Looks bad to mess up. Looks bad to mess up when you're showing off.
Argle. Oh, you're so cold your mouth's going numb. Haven't you seen Hannibal? Ever since its release, people stop eating each other. A huge success. I haven't seen it, but I know the fandom is pretty intense. It also has Danish heartthrob Mads Mikkelsen.
Yes.
What white? You're just doing that on purpose, aren't you? June giggled and did her best to hide her guilt. At least she was still feeling good enough to joke around, Junpei told himself. I also love the DS, and it's my preferred version as well, but I very much miss the voice acting. Yeah, at least you get my voice acting instead, but I get it. I mean, I never actually heard, like I heard bits of the voice acting in the Steam port, but I haven't heard all of it. Come on, guys, don't you think that's kind of weird? Mads Mikkelsen from the hit game Death Stranding by Video Gorilla? Video Gorilla. I wonder why he doesn't turn to a liquid first. Senna was now shivering at the astounding rate, but his curiosity seemed unaffected. Junpei, however, was not in the mood to discuss science. Do we want to speak science, or do we want to... Don't mention Death Stranding. Trey has PTSD about how bad the game was. Is Trey in the stream, by the way? Yeah, I mean... I haven't played the game myself. I don't know. Let's do a check. Seems like we are going to... It did strike us rather odd. It did seem rather odd to Junpei, and he couldn't help but think about it. June answered.
But it can turn to a liquid. Carbon dioxide turns to liquid if you put it under high enough pressure. And at 1 atmosphere normal air pressure...
It won't turn into a liquid, right?
That's right.
They replaced Mads Mikkelsen with yet another female actor who agreed to have her feet scanned. What? Which actress?
That's right. Instead of melting, it'll do something called sublimating and change immediately from a solid state to a gaseous one.
See, that's weird. Water is a liquid between 32 degrees and 212 degrees. Fahrenheit, not a... Wait, Mads Mikkelsen a woman? Yeah, congratulations on our transition. So why isn't that the case for carbon dioxide? June replied with an answer that stunned both of them.
There's a kind of ice that doesn't turn to liquid when it goes above 32 degrees.
Elle Fanning. Oh my goodness.
I heard about it. Its melting point is 96 degrees.
Ice with a melting point of 96 degrees. 96 degrees Fahrenheit is still pretty cold, am I right? If I'm correct. I'm gonna look it up. Replacing men with women is also Hideo Kojima's grand design. That's why we no longer have male authors. that's hot as shit. Oh, I see. 96 is hot. Okay. '96 is 35. That is pretty hot, though. I mean, livable, but still pretty hot. You mean there's water that freezes at 96 degrees?
Yeah. Well, you could also look at it as ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees.
Water that freezes at 96 degrees. Ice that won't melt until it's in 96 degrees. Junpei was cold as hell, but this was too interesting to ignore. 35 is not livable. Nope. So sorry. Yeah. The appropriate livable degrees is 20. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. He did his best to warm up by rubbing his arms and stamping his feet. Then put the question to June. So what's this ice with the melting point of 96 degrees called? Woman that be absent or boyfriend that listens. Yeah. And the third guy.
It's called Ice 9.
Ice 9. For penguins, I recommend no degrees. Yeah.
Originally, Ice 9 was a made-up substance invented by a science fiction author. But recently, scientists have discovered that such a substance actually exists.
Yeah, we can't say. No spoilers in chat. Wait, hold up. So, this thing called Ice 9, or is it water?
Like I said, if the ice is over 96 degrees, it'll be liquid. If it's under that, it'll solidify. So, you could think of it as the polymorph of H2O. Here, think of it like diamonds and graphite. They're both made of carbon, right? But depending on the structure of the crystallization, the hardness and the structure are completely different.
So you're saying normal water and this ice 9 are like that?
Yep.
She wasn't finished.
Have you heard the story of the crystallization of glycerin? For 150 years after the discovery of glycerin, people cooled it, warmed it, and did all sorts of things to it.
If I remember correctly... Yeah. Glycerin is usually... It's used for, like, food.
But whatever they did, it never crystallized. However,
Ice 9 debuted in the novel Cat's Cradle, which is very fitting for spoiler reasons. I see.
however, one day in 1920, some glycerin that was en route to England by ship was discovered to have crystallized during the trip. Naturally, scientists worldwide went to research this new crystallized form of glycerin and began asking for samples of the seed. The seed is, of course, a sample of the original crystallized substance. With the seed crystal, further crystallization of glycerin would be a simple matter. However, something very strange happened. Not only did the glycerin encouraged by seed crystals began to crystallize, nearby samples did as well. It didn't end there. After that day, all glycerin in the world began to crystallize naturally when cooled to less than 64 degrees. Before that day, no matter how glycerin was cooled, it refused to crystallize. By the way, yet another was related to the feats granting. I'm, of course, talking about Quiet from MGS5, of course. Oh, Kojima, never change. Yeah. But once the crystallization has begun, it was almost like... how do I put it? It was almost like all the glycerin in the world was communicating in some way that we can't sense.
Junpei. I'd say I'm impressed. I was honestly impressed. It was, in fact, a pretty interesting story. Wow, it's pretty interesting. But, what does it have to do with Ice 9? To his surprise, it was Sen and not June who answered. What she's saying is that it's a lot like Ice 9. What happened, I mean? I would be annoyed because we are yapping while dying, yes. A lot like... that would be bad. Water everywhere started freezing at 96 degrees. And it'd be of the end of the world. Junpei felt that Santa might not be treating the idea of the end of the world with the proper concern. At any rate, we're not gonna have to worry about the end of the world unless we can get out of here pretty damn quick. He was right. Junpei shivered. Alright guys, I think that's enough of that. I didn't think we'd get quite this far off topic. I mean, I know I'm kind of at fault here, but we can't be screwing around anymore. Seriously. I might go by name Santa right now, but but I didn't grow up in Iceland. I freaking hate the cold. So let's get cracking, alright? We gotta find a way out of here. Santa stumped off, clearly doing his best to pretend the cold wasn't affecting him. I mean, the series and how its lore is based on real-life stuff, so you can actually read the books Sheldrake wrote on morphogenetic field or the novels in Ice 9. Yeah, that's really nice. 9. Selfish, isn't he? Thought Junpei to himself. Still, Santa was right. It was high time they got back to their search. The story of Ice 9 had him interested, but there had to be time... But there'd be time to think about that once they got out of the freezer. Yes, thank you, Game Recorder. Did I do something wrong? Junpei looked at Ju, nodded, and resumed his search of the room. Okay. A water bottle. It's a rope. Bad pun. Yeah. Well, we could use it to attach something to something else, I suppose. A water bottle. Yeah, it is. Dry ice. Can't you make that stuff cause an explosion if you seal it with something that's airtight? Explode. Yeah, didn't you do that in school? You should never underestimate the power of expanding gas. Seems like we're missing something here. There isn't anything else that looks like useful. Everything is frozen. It doesn't look like there's anything else interesting. Listen to the inventory noise. You will discover. It doesn't sound like a clown. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you smoking? There's water dripping from this pipe. Looks like when the pipe burst, the water hit the doorknob and froze it in place. This water actually seems on the floor. It does not. Cloud noises happen when you leave. Ah, I see. Okay. What? Maybe I need to crush the ice. No, it doesn't seem like it. This thing is covering something. It's frozen solid. I can't flip it over. Oh, it's the chicken. I forgot. I don't know. It sounds closer to Michael Jackson from Moonwalker. Do you know what a clown sounds like? Explode things. Papa Bongi, no! Papa Bongi did not make it out of this one. Alright, the dry ice is all in pieces now. Okay, so it's crushed. Can put this here. Yeah, I'm gonna put these pieces of dry ice in the water bottle. And then... And let's just tie a rope around here. And we made a pipe bomb. Rest in peace, Sinclair. He was racist. Warm water dripped from the ruptured piping in the door. Junpei put out the water bottle filled with dry ice, let a good amount of water fall in, then quickly sealed it tight. The makeshift bomb complete, he tied it to the doorknob as quickly as he could and managed to pull it. Alright, that's set. So, what do we do now? Santa's Hill didn't show June the meat. Oh, fuck, I forgot. You could show the chicken to her? Yeah, I forgot you could do that. Remind me to do that the next time we go through this room, because we will need to in subsequent playthroughs. Just need to give it a little tap. No funny the dialogue. Yeah, I forgot funny the dialogue. The ball's already about to pop. You just throw a rock or something, it'll go off on its own. Small rock. Jimmy looked down on the floor. Scattered across them were pieces of dry ice left over from the larger chunk he'd crushed earlier. Alright, this ought to do the trick. He pulled his sleeve down his hand to keep track of the... Oh, explode things. I think that, like, when we can also show Akane, the chicken, so it's not necessarily halal. Funny story, actually. When the chicken was discovered in 1924, he discovered how the properties of fire chewed properly. Oh, that's two references in one. Good. About as big as a pool ball. Figured it would be just the right size. Alright, guys, stand back. Fucking making up facts on the fly. Both Santa and June looked at him with new concern. Where exactly do you expect us to hide, genius?
There really isn't anywhere big enough.
Yeah, there is. Look, right there. We can hide in there. Jimmy pulled open the door from the small cellar. Come on, get inside. But she's not making shit up. It's all based on real life stuff, which is what makes Zero Escape so cool. I didn't know Glycerin had psychic powers with itself. That's why June is saying it. Senna and June nodded and jumped down to the hole. Jinbei quickly followed. In his hand, he could feel the chill of the frozen carbon dioxide, even though it's through sleeve. He tightened his grip, took aim, and prepared to throw. Right, here goes! 4, 5!
You're counting the wrong way!
Whoops! That is a really sad excuse for a joke. Sorry, dude. Alright, for real this time. You guys ready?
Yes, whenever you're ready.
Just throw the damn thing. Alright, here I go. 3, 2, 1. Junpei threw a chunk of dry ice as hard as he could. With the same motion, he ducked down to the cellar with Santa and June just as... It worked! This visual novel is for people in STEM. Is Junpei a bad shot as well? No, because unlike Will, he actually managed to get the job done.
Junpei, the ice on the door, is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone. The blast must have shattered it. Yes, alright, let's see if it opens. Junpei grabbed the knob and pushed with all his might. The door gave away easily, and all three of them tumbled out of the freezer at once.
Hooray! We're out!
June, relieved, collapsed onto the floor. Move! Santa passed Junpei and ran straight to the grill, which immediately grabbed. Ow! God damn it! Hot! Fuck! Junpei grabs a lot of knobs up top. Yeah. He proceeded to kick the grill in a futile but amusing fit of rage. But where was Lotus? It took Junpei only a moment to find her. She was sitting on the counter, idly scratching her chest. Welcome back. I was starting to get tired of waiting for you guys. With a great yawn, Lotus lowered herself off the counter. Junpei clenched his teeth and walked toward her. What were you doing? What do you mean, what was I doing? I was waiting. We were gonna die! Oh yeah? But you didn't, so everything worked out alright, didn't it? What the hell? Just kidding. It might not look it, but I was really worried. Don't give me that crap. I'm telling you the truth. I mean, if you die, then I'd be in trouble too. If you die, then I'd be stuck here and I'd die too. Yeah. I did all I could. I even looked around to see if there was anything I could use to pry open the door. But I couldn't find anything. So all I could do was wait. I mean, what else do you want me to do? Call the cops? It was true that there wasn't much he could have done, but something about her tone. Junpei gritted his teeth. Fine. But there's one thing I have to ask you. What's that? You didn't close the door, did you? What? You think I closed the door on you? Why would I do something like that? It closed on its own. I told you before, if you die, then I die too. She was right, and Junpei knew it. Without them, she'd be in very serious trouble. It seemed that an accident was the only explanation for the door's closure. If Lotus had really wanted to kill them, all she would have had to do was bar the door from the outside, and she hadn't. Well, she hadn't done anything. The most she was guilty of was laziness, negligence, not attempted murder. Junpei swallowed his anger and did his best to apologize. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I doubted you. Oh yes, well, that's alright. As long as you understand. Lotus looked away and twirled her hair between her fingertips. His vengeance against the girl complete, Santa swaggered back towards Junpei and Lotus. Hey, no more screwing around, you two. Break time's over. Especially for you, lady. You've just been sitting on that fat ass of yours while we were freezing to death. How rude. I was plenty busy. Yeah. How about you put all that energy into something besides bitching? Let's go. What a lovely young man. What a respectful... He's so respectful of the elderly. And that is a frozen piece of pork. Hey, what's that? Looks like there's a piece of paper inside of it. If you try to pull it out, it might tear. Maybe you can melt it if you put it on something warm. Something warm? Something warm. Oh yeah, didn't someone burn themselves on something earlier? I want to talk about Santa's character so much, but no. Yeah, I know, but like there's some people in the stream and da-da-da-da-da. Guess I'll put this meat on the grill. Hey, what are you doing? But it's very cool how much of his backstory explains his personality. Yeah, that's really cool. What are you going to do if the paper burns? Come on, it'll be fine. I mean, it's not like it's gonna burn right away, right? You just gotta keep an eye on it and the paper will be fine. Well, they can argue all they want. You gotta keep an eye on this pork. Cool, looks like it's about time. I'm gonna try taking the paper out. Jim, be careful. It's sweet of her to care, but I know I'm... Ouch! See? I told you! Hey, what the hell are you doing? Hurry up and take the paper out. It's not coming out. This thing's frozen stiff. I can't get it out. So are we gonna have to cut the meat? Yeah, it looks that way. Luckily, I have just the thing. Alright, now that I've sharpened the knife. Yes, I cut the pork. Awesome, Junpei. Now I can cut out the paper. It's C plus 10 plus F. Let's see. C is 12. The pork note. I'm gonna use a calculator to use this one. C is 12 plus 16 plus 15. So we're getting 43. This is the oven door. It's locked, of course. This is probably what you're supposed to use to enter the password. If we put the right number, it'll open the door. Junpei, maybe the note you found earlier. Yeah, I know. Do you know how to enter those numbers? I think E is enter and C is for clear. So basically I'm ready to submit my answer. I press E. So if I screw up, I just press C, right? Alright, let's give it a shot. It's... Yeah, it's just 43. Sounds like the metal is falling. Well, I guess that went well. Yeah, the door's open. Good job, Junpei. And we got the Saturn keycard. Which means we can leave. Yes! I think it's unlocked now. You did it, Junpei. Let's get out of here. Yes! Let's go! And with that, we managed to escape. They stepped out of the kitchen into a hallway that looked rather familiar. Metal grates stretched from wall to wall. Beyond it were 2 elevators and the entrance to the kitchen. They had entered the kitchen from one door and come out of the other. That meant their map of the ship's interior was accurate. They laid the map out in front of them and began to discuss their next step. There are 4 possible routes. A, B, C, and D. First, A and B. A and B both seem to connect to the L-shaped room. However, the 2 doors that lead to the room were both locked and could not be opened. Next was route C. That goes all the way to the main staircase. That means it's door 5, one of the numbered doors.
Then do you think we could meet up with the other 4 after this hallway?
No, I don't think we will.
Why not?
Look, there by the stairs. See how the gate is opened? When we went back to the kitchen, it was closed. But it's open now. What do you think that means? They opened it. Most likely. And if we take route C, we're going backwards.
That would be pointless.
And that means... All 4 looked at the map. They looked at the staircase, its lazy curve leading down deeper into the ship. Route D then. Route D then. D it is.
Yep, it's route D. Yeah, it's route D.
And we're set. Again, I need to keep my voices consistent. They jogged down the stairs until they reached the C deck. Just to be sure, they kept going to check the deck beneath. Yep, just like I thought. Deck D is totally underwater.
Just like the bottom of Cinderell's staircase.
The water gazed back at them, its smooth surface like a great mirror. As ominous as it was, Junpei took at least some comfort for the fact that the level hasn't gone up since the last time he'd seen it. They turned back to C deck. It didn't take them long to find 2 elevators in front of the stairs. They looked identical to the elevators on the top floor with one exception. These elevators had a card reader in the wall between them. On the card reader was a strange mark. Hey look, it's Lotus's symbol. Huh? See, it's a woman's symbol with a thorn on it. That seems like... Ouch! Ow, 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 ow! I like how she doesn't take any shit from the boys. Lotus has taken a hold of Junpei's hair. Her response is violence. She began to shake him violently and he thought he heard a low growl coming from her throat. Yeah, she doesn't. Such violence. Junpei began to wonder if she was not the devil itself. With an uncomfortable smile, June spoke up.
This is the Mercury symbol. The thorn symbolizes its wings on Hermes' staff.
I wish Lotus was in the other games, but alas. Yeah, Lotus was really cool. Lotus is a really cool character. I think... Okay, this isn't really a spoiler, because you can just look up on the internet and see what characters do make it in the sequels if you look it up online. But I feel like one of the repeating archetypes is the boob woman. I know it's really reductive, but like that's pretty much what it is. Each of these games has a boob woman that is in a revealing outfit and big boobs. And I feel like the boob woman awook. Yeah. And I feel that in terms of characterization, there's a bit of a Half-Life thing that goes on with them, with the boob woman. Like, it's like, I don't know how to explain like this Half-Life phenomena. You know how like how when an object degrades and like you basically like the amount of it like over time like degrades and it's basically half of it. So I feel like there's a Half-Life effect with the boob woman in the Zero Escape series. I'll say it that much. Hermes, herpes, whatever. Can't get this thing to work. These elevators aren't going anywhere. In other words, we need a key card with the Mercury symbol on it. Probably. They gave up on the elevator and returned to the stairs. Funnily enough, Lotus, despite starting up this archetype, isn't really what the archetype is, since the whole thing that she was just kidnapped during belly dancing. This is not her normal outfit, where Alice and Mira do actually dress like that. Yeah, that's true! I didn't remember the kidnapped by belly dancing, but that was my guess. I didn't know it was... I forgot it was canon. The hallway stretched out to the left. A great many doors lined both sides of the hallway. We weren't sure how many, but certainly enough to be discouraging. Damn it, if we search all these, the sun's gonna go down before we're done. I think the sun already sets. I have a feeling the ship is the only thing that's going to be I have a feeling the ship is the only thing that's going to be going down anytime soon. That's even worse. Well, we can come back to this hallway later. Let's check the hallway on the other side, shall we? Frustration and fear building, they walked back to the stairs. Yeah, that's what I meant, like, with Gamercore's response about, like, she came back from belly dancing. There's actually concept art of how Lotus usually dresses up, in the Wikia. And like with her, it's very much if looks can deceive. Also, I'm going to ask you guys not to look up. I can't find oh, there it is. We actually, well, we found the art of her when she was young. We don't really know what she looks like. We don't really know what she looks like, but we could take a guess that's like it's more of that. Anyways, don't go into the Wikia. Okay, let's continue. Then, to the right was a small hallway. Quickly, they headed into it. I doubt she would have had changed much considering how she was already an adult in 2018. Yeah, that's fair. It was approximately the same size as the alcove in front of the stairs. The hallway led towards the stern, and at its end was a set of double doors. Let's open it. Junpei nodded and grabbed the one up the closest to him. He gave it a big tug and felt it move. It was unlocked. Thrilled to have found an unlocked door, he threw it open. He opened the door. Junpei didn't know what to make of what he saw. This time we have 3 options. Ooh. He simply stood, unable to speak. The other door simply stared open-mouthed. After a long moments, Santa managed to speak. What the hell is this? The massive room stretched out in front of them, more of a cavern than a room. Its vastness was oppressive, and it bore down on the 4 companions. It was not empty, however. The entire room was filled with lines upon lines of beds. They were simple things, little more than pipe and thin mattresses.
Is this a hospital?
The reason why Lotus is even in the game is also super interesting. Yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it. The room swam with the harsh, biting smell of antiseptic. In the center of the room were shelves stacked with medicine and a number of medical devices which function, of which Junpei did not know. More importantly, however, on the back wall of the room were 4 doors. 3 of them were emblazoned with large, single-digit numbers and made it with thick red paint. The door on the left was labeled 3. The second door from the left had no number, but the third had been given a 7. And the rightmost door had an 8. There could be no doubt they were numbered doors. It did strike Junpei strange, however, that the door between 3 and 7 should be blank. What, he wondered, could it mean? Let's take a look at the doors.
Yes, that sounds like a good plan.
Junpei headed towards the doors, weaving his way between the beds. He started with door 3 on the left and moved to the right until he reached door 8. All locked. And there's also reds.
It's no use.
Well, of course. If it was easy to open these doors, what would be the point of the nonary game? We have to activate the red or the numbered doors won't... Wait a minute. What's wrong?
Look, the display on the red. There's nothing on it.
Huh? Don't you remember the red at the central staircase? If no one was inside, it said vacant.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But this one...
There's nothing on it.
Right? I wonder if it's broken. Only one way to find out. No response. It didn't respond. All 4 took places, placing their hands over the red, but it refused to respond. They pulled a lever, and it still did nothing. Soon they discovered it wasn't only the red for door 8 that was behaving strangely. The red on door 7 also refused to respond. And on door 3 was similarly silent. None of them would respond. What did it mean? I knew it. They're broken. Zero sure sucks at maintenance. No, that's impossible. You really think Zero, who prepared all of this, would make such a stupid, simple mistake? Maybe, but that doesn't explain why this thing ain't working. It was that moment that they heard a voice from behind them. I believe the bottom of the device has been removed. Oh wait, no, wrong voice. I believe the bottom of the device has been removed. They spun around to see. Snake! But it was more than just Snake. Ace, Clover, and 7 quickly filed into the room as well. It's the sexy, gay, princely man. The democratically elected princely man. It's like, okay, this is one of the fun, this is non-spoilery. So a few years ago, Kotaro Uchikoshi, who really interacts with the fandom, retweeted spicy fan art of Alice, character from the sequel. And then the fandom was like, okay, if you're gonna post that, you might as well also say that Snake is gay as repentance. And then Uchikoshi, in all of his glory, opened the Twitter poll asking if Snake is gay. And he won by a landslide for yes, but that's not even the icing on the cake. The icing on the cake is that a bunch of Metal Gear Solid fans, a bunch of Metal Gear fans, who did not have the context, saw the word snake and voted for it as well. That's definitely one of... The Zero Escape fandom has some of my favorite anecdotes of all time. It's great. Wait, Snake is gay? I mean, Snake is gay as shit though, both of them. Yeah. Oh no, it's not to make it... I mean, in Metal Gear Solid is funny because he does have sex with a woman in the third game. But he is still pretty gay. He's definitely attracted to men. The interactions with him and Otakon are very fruity. Always have been. And Ocelot, for Big... Oh, never mind. There's Big Boss and there is Snake. I forgot. Yeah, that's Big Boss Hill, not Snake. I mistook my snakes. Oops. That was my bad. Big Boss has bisexual energy, but like the original Snake is really fucking gay. Although they were glad to see one another, it wasn't terribly surprising that they had. If it had been the other party who'd opened the gate in front of the kitchen, it wasn't unreasonable they bump into another eventually. The rest of Snake's team, however, did look rather surprised.
How?
How did you end up here?
After a moment of silence and surprise, everyone suddenly began to talk, desperate to exchange information. They talked about the rooms they'd been through, and how they'd ended up in the same place. Of course, none of it was very useful information, but it hardly mattered. They were happy to simply see one another again. Although the level of cheer varied greatly from person to person, each one of them was wearing some manner of smile, almost as though they had already forgotten about the death of the ninth man. I mean, he kinda sucked. He held Clover at knife point. No, not Junpei. Perhaps that wasn't it. Perhaps, though, his death was what drove them to smile to one another. Not in a morbid or hateful way, no. The ninth man had died. But they were still alive, and that was something to be happy about. A sort of simple, uncomplicated joy, Junpei thought. The joy of being alive. Still alive. He felt sorry for the ninth man, but more than anything, Junpei was just happy to be alive. There you have it, our half of the story. His part finished, Ace fell silent. For a moment, Junpei was silent in thought, and then he spoke. Okay, let me see if I got all this straight. When you guys got here, the bases for the Reds were already gone.
And you looked all over the room, but you couldn't find anything.
So you figured that there might be something in the hallway with all the doors. So you went and had a look. Yeah. Oh, we still have is the stream still going? Okay, seems like it is. Good. And while you were looking around, you heard voices.
Uh-huh. So you followed the voices and came back here.
Indeed. And that was how we found you. Junpei examined the 3 Reds again, just in case. On the bottom of each was a long, thin gap. It looked like a slot for something. Apparently something electronic.
Well, this isn't good. If the red isn't active, we can't keep going.
Well, what about that hallway over there? Isn't there anything else we can go? Isn't there anywhere else we can go? No, there isn't. There are plenty more hospital rooms, but nothing else. Hospital rooms? That's what's behind all those doors? Yes. There are a number of individual rooms in addition to this large one.
There was a door at the end of the hallway, but it was locked.
There was an astrological symbol engraved near the keyhole, however. I was able to get a good feel for it. He was about to say look, and then he remembered he was blind. I believe it was the symbol of Jupiter. Not again. Those goddamn things are everywhere. I wonder what they all mean. Oh, I wonder what they all mean. For a moment, everyone was silent, deep in thought. Well, we're asking what things mean. What's the deal with this room? I mean, I thought this was a cruise ship, but I can't imagine a cruise ship would have a hospital like this. Of all people, it was Seven who answered with a calm confidence. Well, I figured it was probably a hospital ship. Chances are it's the Gigantic. The Gigantic? His goddamn stuff is all over around. How can I get out? This nightmare, I've got to escape. Huh? Is it something I said without thinking of it? I can't say anything around chat without being publicly shamed, huh? Junpei looked confused. So did everyone else. What is this Gigantic? We're stuck on a different planet. A lot more can manage, but we gotta keep on standing. Oh, it's lyrics. Seven knit his brows for a moment, then began to explain. The Gigantic. He explained I explained that she had been a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century. The Titanic had two sister ships who were identical to one another in every way aspect. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. She was initially intended to be a passenger liner, just like the Titanic, but soon after the ship was launched, the First World War began, and she was pressed into duty by the British Navy as a hospital ship. The character said, "This goddamn stuff is all over the place," and they started singing Black Tar from Xenoblade X. Oh, I like that song. It's really good. Sometime later, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. She managed to run aground after the incident, but consequently was not sunk. What then happened to the Gigantic after her fateful encounter in the Aegean Sea? One theory that ran that a man named Lord Gordain purchased her. Lord Gordain, it seemed, has been one of the few survivors of the Titanic tragedy, and that trauma has turned him into an obsessive Titanic collector of all things related to the Titanic. And his obsession deepened. He began to desire the Titanic itself. That, of course, was impossible. The Titanic laid at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. The Gigantic, however, has not suffered such a dire fate. She caught Lord Gordain's eye. So you're saying this Lord Gordain bought this ship? Yeah, at least I think I am. That's impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old. Pipe down, just pay attention. What, that's it? Well, have you got any proof? Proof? Proof that this ship is really the Gigantic. Well, this ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic and the hospital ship. So I just figured... Oh, for goodness, don't tell me that's your only reason. No, I got more. Like? Well, I mean... Seven looked around desperately, doing anything to meet Lotus's piercing stare. He scratched his head for a moment, then gave up. Finally opened his mouth. I don't know. Lotus sighed and shook her head. I guess your memory isn't back yet, is it? Yeah, sorry about that. Hey, wait a minute! Memory isn't back. Junpei was, he felt, legitimately shocked by what seemed to be new and very important information. Everyone else, however, seemed unimpressed. No surprise, the composer for Kill la Kill makes bangers. Yeah, Hiroyuki Sawano never misses. His stuff for To Be Hero X is also excellent. I've never skipped a single opening. Like a single time that Inertia started playing. It's so good. decided to revise his attitude for the next question. Wait, was I the only one that didn't know? Everyone nodded. Why? Oh yeah, I guess I didn't tell you, huh? I told the rest of them before I ran into you on the stairs. I told them I couldn't remember a damn thing before I woke up. What? Then almost as if to save Junpei from further embarrassment. The clock. Saved by the bell. A bell began to ring from far away. It sounded as though the clock... It was the clock at the main stairway. Junpei counted each chime carefully. 10, 11, 12. Oof, 6 more hours.
It's midnight. Then we've got 6 hours left, right?
We don't have any time to screw around. Let's get going. Gotta find the missing parts for the Reds.
What do you mean find? How on earth do you propose we do that?
We've looked everywhere in this room. It only leaves the one place to look.
One?
Well, I guess that's not really right.
Wait! Don't tell me we need to search all of the other rooms.
Don't freak out. We already searched 4 of them.
4 rooms.
We just have to split up the rest between the 8 of us.
Crackles. Cackles, yeah.
If each person does 6 rooms, that'll be 48 rooms, right?
So there are 48 rooms left.
Her earlier experiences had apparently not encouraged Lotus to trust Seven. Seven scratched his head awkwardly. I don't know. After a little more discussion, they split up and head towards the room to begin searching them. Junpei was chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from fore to aft. They also determined when they would return to report their findings, next time the clock sounded time. When it did, they would meet back in the large central room full of beds. If, during their search, any one of them were to locate the missing components, they would all yell for the others. If the strategy failed, they'd return to discuss their options later. The details decided, they left to start searching. Out in the hallway they went, each to the rooms they'd been assigned. However, from far away, Junpei heard the bell ring. It did so only once. It was 1 a.m. He opened the door. You don't know what I'm laughing at yet? Yeah, I don't. He jogged through the entrance of the large hospital room to find 6 of the others already there. Ace, Santa Clover, June, and 7 Lotus. They had gathered in front of the door, number 8. Or perhaps, to be accurate, they had gathered in front of the red next to door 8, number 8. Had one of them found the missing piece? What happened? What happened, guys? It was June who answered him.
Junpei, look!
She pointed at the red. He pushed through the others until he stood in front of it. Immediately, he knew what she had meant. The display on the front of the red read vacant. Junpei sighed. Come on, guys, who was it? I thought we were supposed to yell if we found it.
Well,
Junpei wondered why she was hesitating. The others looked as confused as June, but kept their mouths shut. What the hell? What is up with you guys? They all knew something that he didn't, and Junpei wasn't about to leave things that way. Finally, Lotus frowned and spoke. Well, that's the thing. We don't know. We don't know. When I got back, it was already like this. There was no one else here. That means it was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red. Junpei looked at the bottom of the red again just to make sure. The slot that had been opened at the bottom was now covered with metal. Clearly, whatever had been missing had returned. What about the other 2? They're the same. Junpei quickly examined the other boxes. Satisfied that they were also repaired, but also very confused, he returned to the others. Alright, I just want to be sure here. Nobody has any idea what the hell happened here, right? Asenju nodded quite silently. Seven raised his hand as if to say, not me, and Santa just shrugged. Only Clover lowered her head and did nothing. Huh? Wait a minute. That was when he noticed. Where's Snake? Junpei swept his eyes across the room a second time, but Snake was nowhere to be seen. Does that mean he found them? I have no idea. There's nothing to suggest it, and nothing to suggest he didn't either. I don't suppose we'll know until we can ask him in person. Well, whatever he did or didn't do, he's pretty damn late. What the hell is he up to?
Maybe he's lost?
Yeah, well, that seems likely. You can see. I don't know how he gets around in the first place. Clover raised her head. No, that's impossible! He's still climbing that ladder. Yeah, the song is still going. I'm still in a dream, Snake Eater. Suddenly, she was shouting. Yeah, my brother's blind, but he's got really great hearing. He can get around as well as anyone can see. So, he couldn't get lost. That's impossible. Clover started to shake and the knuckles on her hand has gone white. She spun around, but before she did, Junpei noticed tears welling up in her eyes. Why are you southern? I don't know. Oh my god, Explode Things. You can't just ask people why they're southern. I'm gonna go look for him. The words barely ran out of her mouth when she began to run. Hey! Hold on, Clover, wait! Junpei cried out for her, but he was too slow. She kept going, and before anyone else could react, she was gone. Damn it. What should we do now? Well, the red is working now.
No, we're not leaving two people behind.
The spirit of Emile Sinclair lives through me.
We should go look for them.
Oh man, this ain't good. Oh yes, what an excellent idea. We just wasted a bunch of time looking for some piece of electronic junk. Now let's waste some more by looking for a couple of idiots. Then remain here if you must, but there's no time. We've only 5 hours left. Junpei and the others nodded to one another and took off in a run. In front of the stairs that led to B deck that they decided to split up. They quickly assigned search areas and went to their separate ways. Soon only two of them were left. Those two were Junpei and Ju, who had been a few steps behind the others. Alright, we should go too.
Yes,
Let's go.
where should we start?
Let's see. You must share the hot take while drinking. Oh, I see. I'm gonna get myself a cup of tea and then we're gonna do the hot take. I'll be right back. I actually wanted to Mercy bought a hydrate. Yeah, I didn't see it yet, but I'll buy it now. So yeah, I'm gonna get myself a cup of tea. I think we'll go for like 30 more minutes because there's a specific drop point I wanna leave in. And yeah. So I'm gonna put the BRB and get myself something to drink. duration is good. If you go for 31 minutes, I'll go for the police. Oh no, I can't believe this. Wow. Explode things. Throw me a topic to throw a hot take on. Let's begin with the hallway with the rooms and C deck. We should go check out the hallway and the room with all the rooms. Okay, let's go, Junpei. They turn and ran down the hallway to their left. Ahead of them, farther down the hallway, they spotted Ace. Hey, Snake! Where are you? Answer me if you're there. Junpei paused. What did he want to do? To be honest, I didn't have an idea. I was just doing a bit. I mean, yeah, but you still retrieved the hot take. Just throw me a random opinion and I'll throw something back to you. With June in tow, Junpei jogged up to Ace. Hearing the footsteps, he turned to greet them. Ah, hello there. Snake as well. That's obvious, isn't it? Assume you haven't found him yet either. Junpei nodded.
I really wonder where he could have gone.
Well, wherever he disappeared to, we must find him as quickly as we can for Clover's sake. Ferris wheels? The Eye of London is overrated. Does that count as a hot take? It's like, it's a long line for a pretty, like, I think that like a big, like in general, big Ferris wheels in the middle of cities, like be it the Ferris wheel in Odaiba in Tokyo or the Eye of London, they're both tourist traps. It's not worth to stand over an hour for a fucking Ferris wheel. I like Ferris wheels. I think Ferris wheels are fun, but they're not worth it. That's the take. For Clover's sake.
Right.
June's face looked kind of enraptured. By the way, do you think Clover and Snake are really siblings? I also have recently learned they contain vampires. Yeah, they do. Be careful. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? The question seems somehow odd to Junpei. Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They don't look alike at all. Ace looked at him for a moment and then spoke. Yes, you know, now that you mention it, they don't. Now that you mention it... Still, there are great many siblings who do not look like one another. It certainly isn't rare. Junpei wasn't sure why, or if he was seeing what he thought he was, but he could have sworn that Ace's face tightened as he spoke. At any rate, we must find Snake as soon as possible. The clock is ticking. We really can't afford to waste any time. Very well. Let's get back to the search, shall we? You can leave this area for me.
Alright. Let's go, Junpei.
At June's urging, they left. I'm also gonna save just in case. They found themselves back at the stairs, but Junpei's mind was in turmoil. There wasn't so much to think about, but no, it would have to be put aside for now. As Ace said, finding Snake was their top priority. Junpei did his best to clear his mind. Alright, where should we go next? Let's go to the casino.
Okay, let's go.
We turn and head towards B deck. Before they knew it, they were there. So was Lotus. She was leaning against the wall, examining her nails. Hey, what do you think you're doing? She glanced up at him unimpressed. Isn't it obvious? I'm looking for Snake. I'm just not seeing it. Really? Maybe you need to look harder. Junpei didn't think it was a problem. Oh, by the way, I've got a proposal for you two. Care to hear it? What does she have to say? Well, I don't like to beat around the bush, so I'll get right around to it. Why don't we team up? Team up? Yeah. What, you need me to explain it to you? I'm saying, why don't we go through another door?
Even if we wanted to, that's impossible.
Why?
Junpei's bracelet number is 5 and mine is 6. Yours is 8. Our digital root would be 1. But there is no number 1 door in the large hospital room. The only doors are 3, 7, and 8.
Then we add another person.
Huh?
Who? What? Isn't it easy? 7. She was right. If they added 7, then all 4 of them go through the number 8 door. But wait, hold on a sec. What about the other 4? Why didn't you add them up? That was simple enough. The digital root for those would be 1. Ah, fuck! Ah, shit! Ow! I just pulled the tea bag out of my cup on accident, and I have hot water all above. I have hot leaf juice all over my. Okay, that stinks. Ow. Yeah. Again, I didn't get burned or anything, but it was suck. I did June. I got wet. Get slapped. Ah, fuck! I can't believe you done this. How dare you make fun of my pain? And you know the number 1 door is in the big hospital room, right? Of course I know that. No!
Are you saying we leave them behind?
You forgot the British accent? Ah, fuck, I can't believe you've done this. I forgot where it's from. Of course not. What kind of woman do you think I am? Once we got off the ship, we could go back and rescue them, couldn't we? Yeah, we wouldn't really be leaving them behind. It's a vine?
Don't try to lie to us. I don't think you do anything of the sort.
Really? What do you think that?
You remember, don't you? We have less than 5 hours left. Even if we manage to escape.
There's no way we can come back and rescue them in less than 5 hours. Well, you never know until you try. No, you're not thinking this through. Even if we brought 7 with us, we won't be able to get off this ship. The 4 of us couldn't open the door open door 9.
It is hidden, but an exit can be found. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Yeah. That's right. The digital root for us 4 would be 8, so we'd have to add ace to make 9.
Right. Unless we're being ace 2, we'll be stuck. I'll just scratch the back of her ear. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. She didn't sound particularly bothered by what Junpei said, nor did she seem particularly surprised.
Well, let's try to find another way, okay? A way to get out of here with all 8 of us.
That's impossible. Are you being serious? You do know that only 5 people at most can go through one of the number doors, right? The number 9 isn't going to be an exception to that rule. Regardless, at least 3 people will be left behind. You're right, that is true. The one he said, Junpei felt a chill run down his spine. It was true. How Lotus could remain cavalier about such a so terrifying a prospect was beyond him. When they found the door number 9, they would have to choose which 3 of them would die. Lotus's forehead furrowed. Do you think I could have a moment alone? There are some things I need to think about. You know, I forgot how much of a tactician Lotus is in that regard. Like, she is, she's definitely the conniving one in the early game. Like, and, like, her and Santa are both the shit stirrers, that's for sure. I just forgot how much of she is a shit stirrer in the beginning. But he told himself, pessimism would get them nowhere. So he forced himself to smile and turned to June. Let's just focus on finding Snake for now, okay? It's interesting she was so shocked at seeing Ninth Man's corpse and you praised her for being realistic, but now she's already accepted the fact that they will die. I mean, yeah, I still think she's realistic. They're all realistic. They all think like humans. Yeah, Junpei, Lotus, and Seventh are the best detectives. It's like...
Yeah, you're right. We can think of those other things later.
Junpei nodded. Alright, where should we go next? Let's go to... I think we were already in the hallway room, so we'll go there. Let's take a look at the first class cabin. It's really close. They turned around and took off down the hallway to their left. Outside the first class cabin, they found Clover. She was standing in front of the wall. She was staring at the meaningless point in the wall, her eyes blank. What should Junpei do? Let's talk to her. Oh, you're right? He did his best to sound friendly, but Clover didn't respond. Look, I know you're really worried about me. All he could think was, he could think of no words that didn't sound hollow and fake. Junpei hesitated. Clover was so consumed by worry and fear that Junpei feared it would crush her. Her actions didn't surprise him. She had suddenly lost her brother, who she seemed to have been very close to. Her voice was thin and barely audible. Alone.
I said leave me alone!
Suddenly she was screaming.
You're so annoying! Just go away and leave me alone! Just looking at you guys is pissing me off. Go away, okay? Just so... somewhere else! Stop bothering me!
Junpei was taken aback. Such anger and hate. June's eyes had gone wide with surprise as well.
Why are you still here? Didn't you hear me? Go and piss somewhere else. This is my spot. Fine, forget it. If you aren't gonna leave, then I'll just...
Alright, let's go, June.
Yeah.
They turned and left Clover. Yeah, I didn't even break character. As they turned, Junpei glanced back over his shoulder to see Clover, wiping tears from her face. Clover, driven home with the misery of the situation, Junpei told himself that getting depressed would get him nowhere but depressed. Good line. For Clover's sake, he had to fight Snake and fast. He did his best to push away the misery and depression and force a smile. So, where do you think we should go next? I think we'll go back to the large hospital room. Let's head back to the large hospital room. Do you prefer Clover and VLR or 999 Hail? 999, not even a competition. It's not even a competition. Like, she really gets flanderized in a way that's really frustrating in VLR. That's a criticism I agree with. I don't like using that word, but she gets bimbified. I still think, yeah, but she is a thespian. I still feel like the paranoid core of her character is still there.
Alright, that's probably the best idea.
Together they ran down the stairs. On their way to the large hospital room, Junpei and June noticed Santa, standing next to the number 3 door. Junpei paused. What should Junpei do? Let's talk to him. Junpei and June walked up to Santa. What are you doing? What? Can't you tell? I'm checking out the red.
Why? Is there something bothering you?
What? It's not bothering you?
Huh?
This. The guts of this red. Why won't you wonder who the hell put it back in there?
Yeah, it's true. Well, I'm curious too, but...
Who do you think did it? Santa's eyes narrowed as he looked at June. She shook her head.
I don't know.
Well, what about you, Junpei? Who do you think fixed this thing for us? I think someone other than the 8 of us. Maybe there's someone else on the ship with us. You mean someone's hiding here? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just an idea. You're saying this mystery person fixed the reds. Yep. Why? That's, I don't know. Santa shoved his hands into his pockets and cracked his knuckles. Seems unlikely. Why? I don't know, just a feeling. Hard to believe Zero would bring a secret 10th player. I mean, the name of the game is the Nonary game, for Christ's sake. You know what Nonary means, right? It means 9. No, that's not what I meant. I mean, more like someone who's been living here for a long time. Or someone who, like, stayed here. Seriously? That's even more ridiculous. Why do you think Zero would leave them alone? Junpei furrowed his brow. In other words, one of us is the person who fixed their bed. Santa grinned. Bingo. We have a winner. But if that's true, then the person who did it doesn't want the rest of us to know. They fixed their bed. Yeah. But why? No idea. Maybe if they come clean on that, it means we'll find something else. Something bad. Something bad. Dunno. But whatever it is, it's gotta be worth hiding. Of course. It could be something to do with Snake's disappearance. You think maybe they did something to Snake? It's not out of the question. Junpei stared at Santa. There was something about it that made Junpei wary. At first he'd assumed the other man wasn't terribly clever, but Junpei was beginning to think he'd need to reevaluate his assessment. When Santa spoke again, his voice was quiet. If you trust anybody in this game, you're gonna lose. You gotta be careful. The person you trust the most can turn out to be the one who stabs you in the back. With that depressing suggestion, he turned and quietly walked away. Junpei and June looked at one another and smiled awkwardly. Where would they go next? We don't really have anywhere else to go, so I'm just gonna finish searching. They looked everywhere they could think of, but Snake was nowhere to be found. Lotus looked around his 6 frustrated faces and spoke. We can't keep looking for Snake wherever he is. It's not here. We need to get moving. Junpei couldn't disagree with what she was saying. Snake seemed to have completely disappeared. There was no point in wasting any more time. The others seemed to be having similar thoughts, but they stayed silent. Finally, Seven spoke. We don't got a choice. Lotus is right. We're not gonna find Snake. There's a problem, though. We've gotta figure out who's gonna go through which door. Yes, I have a proposal. She walked back and forth through the door, her heels clicking against the wood. Finally, she stopped. Why don't we decide on one person to sacrifice? Sacrifice? Well, perhaps that's a bit of a harsh word, but yes. You're all figured it out now, haven't you? We can't make it through those doors. If we split into 2 teams of 4 and 3 people respectively, then 3 people will be left behind. If we split into 2 teams of 5 and 2 respectively, then 2 people will be left behind. But if we split into groups of 2 and 3 and leave 1 person out, then only 1 person will be left behind. Leaving behind 3 people with teams of 2, of 4 and 3. Not sure about this. Junpei wasn't quite sure what was true. Wait a minute. 2 people get left behind if we split into 5 and 2. And 1 person is left behind if we split into 3, 3, and 1. I got that part. You can't go through numbered doors with any less of 3 people. If we split into 4 and 3, then why didn't 3 people have to be left behind? Just run the numbers. Let's say we got through door 7 with 1, 4, 5, and 6. What's left over? That will be 3, 7, and 8. What's the digital root for that? Oh, it's 9! Exactly. But door 9 isn't here, right? That means 3, 7, and 8 won't be going anywhere. That was just an example, of course. There are a lot of different combinations, but the result will always be the same. It doesn't matter which 4 it is. The 3 that are left over can't push through any of the doors. So go ahead and calculate it if you have the time. You'll see. Anyway, that's how it is. Now if we can get back to my proposal, We only have to sacrifice one person if we split into three and one. When someone spoke, his voice was strained. You're saying we gotta decide who's gonna stay behind. Yes, we do. Given our circumstances, it's logical and morally the best solution. If the other 6 are able to survive, then one person has to sacrifice themselves. No, that's too cruel. What's so cruel about it? To just sacrifice someone like that. Then what's your plan? Maybe we should sacrifice 2 people instead of just 1. That's not what I meant. We shouldn't sacrifice anyone. I told you that's impossible. Wake up! Whoa, calm down, you two. Sand stepped between Lotus and June. Look, what Lotus is trying to say is that you should aim to bring the greatest amount of happiness to the greatest amount of people, right? Exactly. That's how democracy works. And for that reason, I think it's only fair... The only fair way to decide who will be sacrificed is through a vote. What do you think? Oh, that's terrible. I'm not asking you. Shut up! What about you, Santa? Me? Well, I agree, I guess. What do you guys think about her way of thinking? Alright, that's one vote for. Counting mine, that's 2. 7? Can't say I agree with you, but we don't exactly have a choice. If we don't do something, we're all gonna die.
Glad to see you get it. If I can get one more vote, then it's decided.
What about you, Clover? Clover had moved away from the group and was sitting in one of the beds. Her whole body drooped. Junpei didn't know if she even heard Lotus's proposal. Lotus walked over to Clover and gently laid a hand on her shoulder. Your brother has to be behind one of the number doors. We searched everywhere, but we didn't find him. Doesn't that mean he has to have gone through one of them somehow? Clover slowly lifted her face. Man, real shit stir, that one. I mean, not really a shit stir. She's being calculating and pragmatic. Let's go look for him together, okay? I mean, it's pretty much the only moral option given the information they know. One dead, one MIA, and they don't know if they can go back for someone. If we sacrifice one person, then we can go look for him. You agree with me, right? Clover nodded once. The motion carries! Lotus spun around and walked towards Junpei. Now let's start a vote too. That won't be necessary. Ace barely had spoken for Lotus's entire speech, and everyone jumped a little. 6 pairs of eyes turned to look at him. He didn't seem to notice or even care. I will stay. That should solve our problem, yes? Ace, what are you saying? No, you can't do that! That won't solve anything! June's voice shook, and she looked around desperately for someone to agree with her. Ace simply looked at her. June, I'm afraid you misunderstood me. I said I would stay, but I never said I would sacrifice myself. Huh? I trust each and every one of you. I trust each and every one of you. I believe you'll come back for me. Whoa. There's optimistic and others just nuts. Those doors only go one way. If you go in, you don't come out. If we go through them, we won't be able to return, correct? Yeah. True, but that will not be the case once you've escaped from the ship. What? Please, I beg you, once you've escaped, come back and rescue me. Ideally within the time limit Zero had given us. No, that's ridiculous. There's no way we could get back in time. Finally, Junpei could hold his tongue no longer. We've only 5 hours left. We don't know where the hell we are. How on earth are we gonna find someone to come and rescue you? Perhaps you would prefer to stay instead of me? Or perhaps you would be willing to leave June behind? Ace's voice was dignified without a hint of cruelty and malice. Junpei had no rebuttal. You see, there's no other choice. I see we've come to our conclusion. Go on. Don't worry yourselves about me. Go quickly. Junpei He stood froze by indecision, unable to move. June bit her lips so hard that Junpei feared she might break the skin. Santa stood against the wall, calm and aloof. Seven tore his beanie from his head and turned it over anxiously in his hands. Only Clover stared at Ace with that expression Junpei was unable to decipher. Lotus's attitude, however, was different from the others. Good. Let's accept this kind offer then. She smiled, her eyes bright. Ace answered with a smile of his own. Good, I think this is the best for me. Perhaps I'll be able to take a nap. Perhaps at my age, but I get tired so easily these days. As he spoke, Ace lowered himself down to the floor, next to one of the beds. For somewhere deep in the ship, Junpei suddenly heard the screeching of metal on metal. It was almost as if the ship were screaming. Would it really hold until their time limit was up? Already D-Deck was flooded. In the sudden silence, the only sound was the sad metal wail of the ship. Unsurprisingly, it was Lotus who spoke first. Well, what are we waiting for? We're wasting time. Why don't we hurry it up? As if a spell had been broken, the others all began to talk at once. You're right, we should get going. That's all we can do right now.
7.
Seriously, honestly, I was getting kind of sick of listening to you guys talk.
You too, Santa? I have to find my brother. Wait, all of you! Let's just calm down and think about this. There has to be a way to get everyone out. There has to be. Right, Junpei? Say something.
Yeah, let's think. There's gotta be another way. Their words sounded hollow and fake.
Fine. Forget about it. I'll figure it out on my own.
She spun around and ran towards Ace. He had slumped down next to the bed when June grabbed his arm and pulled.
Come on, Ace. Please stand up. You can't give up yet. We just have to sit down together and think about this. We'll figure out a way that we can all get out of here.
Then it happened. Ace fell forward. He slumped over the wooden floor, his body folded in half like a boxer out cold.
Ace!
June cried out and dropped to her knees beside him. She put her arm around his neck, did her best to lift him up.
What happened, Ace? Say something!
He shook him frenetically. His eyes fluttered open. It's all right. His voice was weak and slightly slurred.
How are you fine?
He held out his left hand and slowly opened his hand. It was a syringe in a small vial. The vial was empty. It only had been recently emptied. A few drops clung to the side. There was a label taped to the side of the container. It read Soporyl Beta. Soporyl Beta. Junpei had no idea what it meant, or what kind of medicine it might be.
Did you use this?
Yes, it's just anesthetic. I'll be fine.
Anesthetic?
I found it earlier, while we were searching the hospital rooms. I thought it might be useful later. I don't think I'd be using it myself.
Why did you do this?
Didn't I tell you? I'd like to take a nap. I really am very tired. Junpei knew that wasn't why he'd done it. Ace had injected himself with anesthetic to forestall Junpei and June's attempts to bring him along. If he couldn't move, there was nothing they could do. He'd injected himself so they would be able to force to leave him behind.
Ace.
Is there something you want to say? I'd just like to sleep a little. Could you keep it down?
No, don't. Ace, don't fall asleep.
I feel warm. So comfortable. I think I'll have a nice dream. Ace's eyelids dropped further and further, almost as though he were dying.
Ace! Ace!
Oh, that was a bad read. I'm sorry. I sound like Gal Gadot in Wonder Woman. in Justice League. Kal-El, no! I never don't laugh from that. No, it was like, Ace! Ace, no! She shook his shoulder again and again, but this time he didn't respond. Only the gentle rising and falling of his chest told them he was alive. Junpei was relieved to see he was in fact still breathing. He lifted Ace off towards the floor and laid him to the bed he's been leaning against. While Junpei turned around, Lotus gave him a look of pity. Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let his sacrifice go to waste. Right? She wasn't feeling any remorse. Junpei was sure of that. Still, he held no grounds upon which to oppose her. It felt wrong, but he had to agree. And suddenly Sand spoke. Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we? Huh? What do you mean? Well, we haven't decided who's going into what door. Ah, yes, that's true. Well, enough of this screwing around. Let's decide. You first, Lotus. Which door do you want? I want door number 8. I thought someone opened my door. It's the same number as my bracelet number. Got it? Got it. You're 8. You're next, 7. Which one do you want? I'll take 7. Can't get along with that old lady. What? What did you just say? Her face distorted by rage. Lotus took a step towards 7. He threw up his hands and made a face like a child caught in the hands of the cookie jar. Ugh! You're going to get it next time. She shot him a glare that would have melted steel and turned and stalked off. Alright, who's next? Santa's gaze moved across the 3 people left. Finally, they stopped on Junpei. Junpei, which door do you want? At last, Junpei's mind was already made up. So, this is where we're gonna finish for today. I think this is a really good point. As for the door that I'm gonna take, well, I know which door I have to take. And we'll guys see which it is next time. I am going for a specific ending order, so we'll be seeing all of the rooms, the escape rooms. Yeah, so it is, good stream now. Thank you. I had a lot of fun with this one, despite the technical difficulties. I also hope I know that, like, my voice acting isn't, like, the professional voice acting from the port, but I hope you guys are also enjoying my, deliveries as good as my deliveries. I do really enjoy voice acting, even if I don't consider myself a professional. But yeah, I really enjoy this game. It's really cool to rediscover the characters and their natures. But yeah, as I said, I'm going for a specific ending, and there's specifically 3 endings I'm going for, because 2 of them are bad endings, that, like, don't just recycle content from, like, the 2 other endings, and the other one is just a lock. It's non-canon, is basically just like a story lock. But yeah, I'm having a good time with 999, and I hope you guys are having a good time too. So until next time, I hope you stay frosty. Wait, is canon? I mean, technically it is canon. It is part of like one of the endings. It's just like a lock. Like a story lock. You need to fill prerequisites. But we'll get to it when we'll get to it. Now we're gonna stay frosty.